live. And we're live. Welcome to Bringing DC to Life, the characters we want to see James Gunn, James Gunn bring to the DCU. We've got our crew here with us this morning. I'm going to bring them up one by one and let you guys, let them introduce themselves to you. First, I just want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I want to apologize for being 25 minutes late. We had some, as always, say it with me, technical difficulties. So we've got it all straightened out now. We're jumping in. And first up, because he says he has to go first, I want to bring to you the Philly film fanatic, Mr. Ken. What's going on, Ken?
First of all, I made it abundantly. Why is the poltergeist in my room? I made it abundantly clear that I didn't have to be first. Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ken Sparks. I'm from the YouTube channel at Kenny Sparks, and I'm just excited to be here and talk about DC with my guys. So. Yep, let's go. I'll try to fix the poltergeist while we wait.
And next up, we're going to talk to the movie maestro. Here is Zach. What's going on, Zach?
Movie maestro. Ooh, I need to add that in. Love to see
you doing all right? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm feeling better. I'm coming off a cold that I've had for 3.5 days.
Man,
as you can tell, if you watched the live stream where we were talking about our YouTube journeys, I started falling asleep because I was sick and I was up from 5 a.m. and it was 1 a.m. the next day. So that was a bad idea. But yeah, Zach Pack Reviews. I do movie reviews. I'm a babysitter file. So if you saw a movie and you love it, I probably haven't seen it yet.
That's great. And next up, bringing to the stage now, we've got the cinematic sensei, Mr. Jason. What's up, Jason?
Cinematic sensei.
That's the best one so far.
How you doing?
Yeah, man.
Screen Zen here, aka Jason. You can call me Mr. McCoy if you like it. But do movie reviews, trailer reactions, and love talking with these fine gentlemen about movies. So let's get into it.
Yeah. And finally joining our stream tonight is somebody that hasn't been on this channel before, but you guys have seen in the chat. His name is House of L Comics, and he is the Heroic Hopster. What's going on, Don?
Woo. Oh, sure. Of course, I'm last. Let's see how you are.
Had to save the best for last.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm always the best. I know how that is.
And I'm sure you guys have noticed we did not have the Resistance Rambler with us tonight. Jonah's not here. He'll be on a different stream sometime in the future. We look forward to him there. He had some things come up, so he's not here tonight. But we're going to miss him. And every one of these guys' YouTube channels are in the description, so you make sure you go and subscribe to each one of these guys. Bunch of great guys, and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. All right. Well, how's everybody feeling?
Feeling great, man. So working on this poltergeist, but I think I'm gonna end up staying here for now.
That shit's trippy.
Seems like it's happened before when you've come onto mine. I don't know what it is about that, but
it only happens with like OBS. It's an OBS thing, it seems.
Okay. Well, before we get into our topics, I really want to run through. We've got a bunch of comments already tonight, so I'm going to run through and just read these real fast. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them because we got to get into our topics because we're already late. 80s Kid from the 90s was the first one in here tonight. Thanks for joining, 80s Kid. Always glad to have you here. He says, Plastic Man sounds awesome. I want a Captain Atom movie with Major Force as a villain. Black Lightning would be cool too. I want Teen Titans movie. Martian Manhunter TV show would be cool too. It's a lot of really cool characters. I'm sure we'll get into a few of those for sure tonight. 80s Kid, we are live. Well, we are now.
Oh, shit.
And he says, are you all right, Kim?
Yeah, I'm great.
Man's dying over there.
Oh man, how do you pronounce that? Dakre?
I don't know. I know who he's talking about, but I don't remember how to pronounce.
I don't know how to pronounce that name. Stranger Things would be great as Green Arrow. Okay. 5 minutes. Yeah, that was you guys a while ago, and I think we were a little bit even later than that. But thank the maker. All right. We got some people saying hi. Of course, Popping the Popcorn's in there. Thanks for joining, Katie. Appreciate you being here. SoCal Hanson Parks, hello. Thanks for joining the stream. 80s Kid says, I waited 20 minutes. Does that mean he left? Well,
worth
I
the wait.
apologize.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! What was it? What's happening? What did I do?
I can. Hi, Zach. EJ wanted to say hi. Well, hello, EJ. EJ is my son.
Hey,
I don't know if
EJ.
that meant he wanted to come in or what, but he wanted to say hi. So, hello, EJ. We got some more highs and what's ups. A lot of friendly faces in here tonight. Let's get through a few of these. Whoa. Jason Entertainment, thanks for joining, Jason.
What's up, Jason?
Glad you can be part of the stream. Justice Society of America reunited. Is that us? We're not cool enough to be the Justice League. We got to be the Justice Society.
Hey, the Justice
how it
Society
is?
was the originals.
They're awesome. I always wanted them to start a universe with them,
Yeah,
and then
Yeah.
lead up into like Superman, Batman. That would have been cool.
Oh, The Rock tried it.
Did he?
Yeah, I mean,
Did he though?
I thought the Justice Society in that movie were actually pretty good, though. I did enjoy that part of it.
Yeah.
Poppy Popcorn says y'all are amazing. Well,
Thank you, Bobby.
some of us are, you know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Dang, DJ. Dang. Threw shade on everybody.
Jason,
Word.
hi, Katie.
Hey, hold
Always I
on.
see these streams. Let's see. 80s Kid, I have 33 minutes. Hey, man, I'm sorry. We would have started sooner if we could have. It just didn't work out that way. Dark Room Reviews, thanks for joining the stream. The Avengers are here. Hey, wrong universe.
Wow.
Disrespectful.
Oh, man. What he said he's making pancakes for dinner. I want some pancakes. Throw us some of them. Just
I don't
right through the
believe in
screen.
breakfast food after 12 p.m., but that's just me.
Jason feels like a kid is being attacked by his camera. Hey, you got it fixed, though, it looks like.
I had to turn it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's good.
I love pancakes. I'm grilled cheese. She means she's having grilled cheese.
I'm grilled cheese.
I'm grilled cheese. Well, hi,
Love
grilled
it.
cheese. I'm DJ. Nice to meet you.
I actually like grilled cheese a lot.
I like some grilled cheese.
Y'all see
80s
my
Kid says, who would you cast as Batman Bruce Wayne? Anybody got thoughts on that?
Eccles.
Yeah, Justin Eccles.
I can't
Yep,
think
he
of his
deserves
name.
it.
I think he's too old.
No.
Well, this is
he's
an older
perfect age.
Batman,
Well, it's true. This is a Batman with a Damian already, so
so you got to be.
I guess
older.
Plus,
it
he's
actually
just-
could work.
He's perfect in the Gen V, and just
Oh, the
imagine
boys
if he was
universe?
Batman. Yeah.
I mean, he'd have to tone it down a little bit, but
Oh yeah.
No, it's James Gunn. You don't have to tone it down for James Gunn.
Man,
Crank it up.
Hmm.
I mean, Batman.
interesting.
He needs to be serious, but he can also be kind of a wise butt. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for saying it like that. I forgot to mention all these guys. We are trying to keep a family-friendly stream here tonight, so we'll see how long that lasts.
I'm very happy that you said that because you know how
Yeah.
I do. Unfortunately,
I don't
Yeah,
usually think to say nothing, but anyway, yeah. I personally would rather see a nobody play Batman. I want nobodies for most of these characters. I don't want name actors.
I think nobodies have worked well, or relative nobodies. Like, oh, it's that guy from
Yeah.
that thing. That kind of
Right. Yeah. I just don't want big. And I mean, really, Ackles hasn't been in a lot of high-profile movies as of yet. I mean, unless you want to count
No.
Valentine's, Bloody Valentine, or whatever.
The best indication of a good casting is fan outrage.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
yeah. If they absolutely hate him, he's going to be perfect.
Yeah, that's probably true. Grilled cheese with bacon, that sounds good too. Man, y'all making me hungry. What this ain't a stream to get hungry on. 80s Kid says Carl Urban is Batman. Okay.
That could work.
And Jason says Ben Barnes or Theo James is younger Batman. I like Ben Barnes. Ben Barnes is a good actor.
Hmm.
He could play an older-ish Batman. He doesn't have to play a young one. He's not that
Yeah.
young.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I mean, how long ago was he playing Prince Caspian? Like that was a while ago, right?
Yeah, he's 42. He's the exact age.
Yeah, yeah. So that wouldn't be much different than Ackles then.
Yeah.
All right.
What about
So-
the guy that played in Reacher and was in Fast
Ooh.
X?
Alan Richardson.
I like
the
him a
big blonde
lot.
guy.
Yeah, Alan Richardson. I like him a lot, but I don't think he has the range to play Batman.
I don't think he has an acting chops, if I'm honest.
I tell you, he's getting a lot better since his Smallville days, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't remember.
If y'all haven't seen Reacher on Prime, that
Aquaman
show's
in-
mad good.
Oh, Reacher is an excellent show.
Yeah.
You need to watch it.
I think so too.
Mm.
All right. Well, I want to start out tonight a little bit of icebreaker stuff. I want to get each one of y'all's thoughts on the DCEU that we just come out of or are coming out of. We got one more film left, and see what you guys thought about overall the DCEU. And I'm going to go one at a time. And if you guys want to chime in on each other, that's fine, but kind of give each other a chance to talk a little bit here. And we're going to start with you, Jason. What do you think about the DCEU that we've had up to this point?
Yeah, so I think it was very exciting when it first started, but then one mistake that I felt strongly about is when they tried to rush everything. So it seemed like they were trying not to follow Marvel, trying to be complete opposite of them. While Marvel, you have the single movies come out, then they group together. This one, they started out with like, and by the way, Man of Steel is still one of my favorite origin stories, one of them. But then they came out with the Batman and Superman. Yep. Batman, Superman, and then they did trying to get the whole Justice League. It was like it was rushed. It was too much, too fast.
Too fast.
And they could have taken their time, told excellent stories, but have a feeling they were thinking about that dollar. What happens if we put all of them together? We'll make $10 billion, and it wasn't a good setup. So it started out being
never worked out.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were trying to fix it from then on. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. Zach, what do you think?
I am an avid defender of the DCEU. Got a lot of heat for it since when does Man of Steel come out? 2018? No.
2012, wasn't it?
2012. I've been loving it ever since. Obviously,
somewhere in there.
Yeah, 2012, 2013. I think that they've made some of the best superhero movies of all time. But they've also made some of the most mediocre ones as well, like the original Suicide Squad and that theatrical cut of Justice League. Those are like two very mediocre superhero films, but like Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Ultimate Edition. I love Shazam. I love Aquaman. I love the Wonder Woman movie. Still the best, one of the best origin films as well. And I didn't mind that it wasn't super connected because I think the individual movies held up really well. It's just that they did do a good job. Well, I can't even say that. They had a good movie where they all came together and they chopped it up. But even after that happened, Aquaman was great. Shazam was great. I'm like one of the few people that loved the Harley Quinn movie. So I was really enjoying it. I just needed somebody to come in and take the characters that we already had and like just have a plan. That's all I was worrying about. But I'm fine with
it. Never really happened. I got you.
Yeah, never really happened. Yeah.
All right, Dom, we're gonna go to you next, and I'm just gonna remind you. Let's keep it family friendly because I know you've got some words.
Well, I enjoyed all the movies, but I'm sorry, Zach was the wrong choice, and he was the main problem with the whole series.
Snyder, you mean? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was little tweaks to every one of the movies that would have made them 150 times better. But it just seemed like he kept on missing the true point of the DC heroes. Aquaman was the only one that he got somewhat right. And it's because he had very little to do with that movie.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
That's just my opinion. Man of Steel, I am a huge Superman fan. I loved the movie until the very end, and I was ticked the whole time after that. I was
I know a lot of
screaming,
people that were.
yelling.
What
I
was it? Was it the kill when he snapped the dude's neck?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
that immediately ticked me off. I wanted to rush the theater to, because
Yeah.
Superman might kill, but he only kills through. Oops, I didn't mean to drop that building on you. I didn't see you there.
Mm.
So what in that particular scenario, I think it was just should have been written differently, or you think there was something else he could have done in that moment if
Well,
you
he
were
he
telling
didn't
that
he
story?
didn't get the feeling of Superman. He didn't understand that Superman is hope.
Okay.
He didn't understand Superman. That was the whole deal. He
Okay.
got that he was a hero and everyone looked up to him, but he looked at Superman like he was a god, not as Superman, not knowing that Superman didn't feel like he was a god. He felt like he was
Mhm.
someone trying to get everyone's approval. He never felt
Okay.
like he was
Right.
good enough.
House of L, I gotta piggyback off of that because I think you made an excellent point that I didn't really think about. I think that the way that Snyder was going about it, and this is in hindsight, so forgive me.
Mhm.
I think that he wanted to show Superman as how we saw him because there
Exactly.
was many scenes of him, float, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Him floating above the people, them reaching out to help save me, right? Like the Jesus
Hmm.
figure, right?
Exactly.
So I think he was trying to try to do both sides. How people saw him, but then what I appreciated about it was the fact that it showed him as a little boy going through, oh, I can't control my sonic hearing, I can't control my sight, that he had to learn. And that's a part of Superman that I have not seen, you know.
Yeah, he
Um
got that part right. Like I said,
mhm,
90% of most of those movies were excellent.
mm,
And then that just little 10% twist and you're like you just destroyed the whole movie.
mm,
Like
mhm.
Jonathan Kent, he got Jonathan Kent all wrong.
Ah,
Jonathan Kent was not afraid that people were going to come and take him away or anything like that. Jonathan Kent wanted him to understand that you can't do it all. You
mm,
have you have to pace yourself. You have to make sure you're getting it right. He knew he was powerful and he wanted to make sure that his son didn't abuse the power.
right.
That's what
Okay.
Jonathan Kent was. And he made it like Jonathan Kent was. Oh, don't get me wrong. Kevin Costner did an excellent job as Jonathan Kent. But
Mhm,
like I said, the motivation was wrong. It was all about the
mm,
motivation. Now, Wonder Woman, they got perfect. The first movie was a gem. Aquaman, they did the 90s version and it was perfect. I mean, it was pretty close to perfect except for the desert thing. I didn't understand that part. But
All right.
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, you got some fair points there. Definitely some things to think about. Ken, we'll go to you next. See what you thought.
Sure. So essentially, I enjoyed quite a bit of the DCEU, and I didn't enjoy quite a bit of the DCEU as well. It was really a mixed bag for me, and part of the issue for me was the consistency, or the inconsistency, I should say, of the universe in terms of quality, right? And
Okay.
that's not a crazy thing. It's most superhero. I don't want to say superhero movie studios, but yes, superhero studios, whether you're talking about Marvel, DC, or Star Wars, are judged very differently than other movie studios who they put out 30, that's a lot. They put out 10 to 15 movies a year, and they're not judged as a studio based on each movie. Each movie is judged individually. That's very different from the way that superhero movie or superhero universes on this big screen are judged. Each movie is kind of a mark against the studio, whether positive or negative. So it's very different, and people treat that filmmaking like it's different from any other kind of filmmaking. It's literally just movies, right? That being said, I love Man of Steel. I'm okay with people not liking the end. Totally fine with that. Totally understand that. I didn't like Batman versus Superman. Here's my consistent point about the DCEU. There are sections of it I really like, even within movies. Even within movies I don't like. But it as a whole, I just kind of felt like it didn't deliver on something cohesively good, right? And then there was a run of just some movies that just weren't great. And what I'll say to end, because I'm all over the place, what I'll say to end is this: the problem with the DCEU is that it had too many hiccups towards the end, where um, it's like the reverse of a rising tide raises all ships. Um, as soon as that tide started to crash, whether it was plans being unfulfilled or taking forever, if you guys recall, the Flash movie was announced during the first season of the Flash show, and that was 9 years ago, right? That's not typically how announcements are done. They went through script over script rewrite. However, I will say I enjoyed the Flash movie. Even though I enjoyed the Flash movie, I had a lot of issues with the Flash movie at the same time. But that's to kind of my entire point with superhero movies in general. I don't view them as the comics. Every superhero movie or superhero universe, whether it's film or TV or whatever, I view them as completely separate and individual things because they quite literally are. They are different universes, if you want to use that. They're a multiverse of content, right? So that's why what you'll see on the CW is very different from what you'll see on the big screen, which is very different from what you'll see in the comics. So if someone wants to make a small change or even a big change, I'm willing to accept the fact that people will make those changes and try to enjoy them on their own merit. That doesn't mean I have to like every change that they make. But if someone decides that, hey, Superman kills here, all right, tell me a good story. Let me see what you have to say about that and how that reconciles with his life, right? Or reconciles with this character. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But I'm okay with you taking a shot at it. So yeah, different changes like that are cool with me. Because at the end of the day, I'll always have the comics and I'll always have the Justice League cartoon. And I'll always have all these other iterations that I did enjoy. So if you want to take a shot at it, cool. That's not going to take away from what I have over here. So yeah, at the end of the day, the DCU was kind of middling at the end of the day, but hopefully the DCU is much better. Oh, one last thing. This is very important to me personally.
Mhm.
I need them to use different villains.
Okay.
I'm tired of seeing Zod, and I'm tired of seeing the Joker, and I'm tired of seeing Lex Luthor. Like there's Brainiac and there's Mephisto. Mephisto, what the hell am I talking about? There's Brainiac. There's Brainiac
Metallo.
and Metallo. Thank you. And there's
Parasite,
Mr.
Livewire,
Cyborg Superman and it's Reverse
Mongol.
Flash, which is interesting because you would think that a Flashpoint movie would use anyway. And then there's all these other characters that you can use, or all these other villains that
Justice
you can use.
Lords.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so many different ways that you can go, but you keep coming back to Lex, Joker, Zod every time, even so much to the point where in the Flash movie, the catalyst was Zod again. And I was like, dog, there's other things we can do here. Anyway, so
Yeah.
that's my spiel on.
I think
I thought somebody mentioned Blue Beetle at the corner of my eye. I really enjoyed Blue Beetle. Really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, Blue Beetle was awesome. I applaud that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it.
Thank you guys for that. I'm not going to stay real long on it myself. I'm just going to say I actually enjoyed these movies a whole lot more than a lot of people did. I do have my issues with some of them, and I did find that watching them in theaters, I came out loving almost every one of these movies that I watched. And after sitting on them for a couple of weeks, a lot of them kind of fell off for me after that. Like the more I thought about it, so that's kind of how I was with a lot of these DCU movies, including The Flash. Like I come out of The Flash loving it. And like a week later, I'm like, I actually had problems with this, and and you hate when you sit down like on YouTube to do a review for a movie you really loved, and you spend more time giving the faults than what it is that you loved about the movie, even though you love the movie. So I found that happening a lot with me throughout these. Not that I don't have that happen through other franchises as well, but I did have that through this. All right.
Absolutely.
Before we get to the next topic, I'm going to go ahead and run back through and just catch up on our comments. And again, I'm going to go through these real fast. I don't want to spend too much time on these tonight because we have a lot to talk about. But we do appreciate the comments coming in, and I am going to try to get through them because you guys are being so gracious putting them in here tonight. Where were we? We did Ben Barnes. 80s Kid Night says DCU had good potential, but the CEOs had other ideas. Darkroom Reviews, exactly. Man of Steel had potential, and they dropped the ball. 80s Kid, I had some mac and cheese. Okay. We're getting everybody's food orders today, I guess.
They had too many cooks in the kitchen in the Justice and all those movies because it was just
Wasn't
when
as
Zack
coherent as it needed
Snyder
to be.
when Zack Snyder left, they just threw too many people. Well, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and there was just no
cohesiveness.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah, you could definitely tell the effect of changing studio heads and things like that throughout this run. Like you could definitely tell things were changing a lot up top as it went. We got Jay Kelly. Thanks for joining the stream. I think this is the first comment you put in tonight. Wonder Woman 84 was not well made. I was not the biggest fan of that movie.
Totally ruined Christmas. That's not true. It didn't ruin Christmas. It was just a bad movie on Christmas. It ruined Christmas is crazy, but no, it just wasn't great.
I tell you,
80s Kid. There's only one Justice League movie we talk about, the Snyder Cut. However, the theatrical cut had some good elements.
We don't need to talk about that one either.
I'll fight you, Ken.
Uh-oh. I think it's an hour too long.
I think it's yeah. My
there was
biggest
a lot
issue,
that I thought could have been cut out of that Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I'm finding that directors are putting way too much in their movies now. And it's just like, just because you shot it doesn't mean you have to put it in.
But I will say it helped that it was on HBO Max because I was able to do it in 2 sittings, and that made it a little better for me. So.
Yeah, I think it was 3
trouble
hours,
with long,
3 days.
Yeah, I had trouble with long movies like it.
I watched it in one sitting. I loved it.
Did you?
The only problem was that he got his Cyborg movie in there instead of it being a Justice League movie.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of that. All right. Press and Review. Thanks for joining the stream. DCU was great, and I'm crazy, but I love Suicide Squad 2016. Man, I'm glad you love that movie.
Yeah, man, it's great to love things.
It was a great movie up until the villain. It's always the villain that destroyed those.
The villain
movies.
was not done well in that movie for sure.
The belly dancer?
I mean,
the belly dancer.
Yeah.
Really
I mean, Will Smith was awesome in it.
Thing.
I mean, Will Smith was awesome.
He was.
They had what's her name?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie was perfect in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just basically the whole cast was good up until you hit the villain, and then you're like,
and
it's an odd choice of villain for that too. I thought
E.T. was Killer Croc's contribution to that movie.
Really should have just been the Joker was the villain, but hey.
Yeah.
Matt Film Show, they disrespected Superman.
Do not agree.
I don't know if I agree with that fully.
I would agree with
What
that
was
from
that?
the standpoint of him only getting one movie in this entire thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, in that sense, yeah, I can go with you there.
I think he was a great,
because
Superman and great character, but he deserved more.
Well, they were just about to fix him the way he should have been, and then well, okay, we're not going to do that.
James Gunn wants
I'm sorry,
to do what he
Henry
wants to do.
Cavill was excellent as Superman.
Yep, I agree.
But he just had to have the right writers behind him.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that
never
too.
got that.
My issue kind of with the whole Superman thing was killing him off in the second movie. And the reason why that was an issue for me was when you do something like that, it should be after some time that we spent with the character. And we spent the first movie with the character. We got essentially his origin story in his first mission, so to speak. In his second mission, he gets killed.
He dies. Yeah.
And then you bring him back, and then we don't see him again, right? So that was if you're talking about that in terms of disrespecting Superman, I totally agree. I think that the character was well done in terms of casting and what have you, but it was just kind of like it's my same issue with, like, you can do a Death of Superman movie for sure, but make that the third one, or you know what I mean, or something like that. Have him go on a few things before, build him up as someone who's like, if Tony Stark died the second movie, people are like, all right, well, I mean, granted, Tony Stark and Superman are two way different, like in terms of popularity and appreciation. But it's the fact that he died movie after movie after movie later that was like made it, because we actually cared about that character. We had a relationship with him over the course of time. Killing off Superman in the second movie is kind of like, what the hell are you doing here? It's my same issue with the Flashpoint being the first Flash movie. That's not the first movie. That's not how you start a Flash franchise. That's the second or third movie. That's when we get to that, when we build up some
Justice League movie
and relationship. You know what I mean?
Make Flashpoint a Justice League movie. That would have been
that too. Yeah, just like Invasion could have been an Avengers movie. It's like, what are y'all doing? Anyway, yeah.
Well, if you're gonna come out with a movie, you don't want to put the most powerful villain for your first movie. You want to work up,
because then you're having to try to top that the next movie, and you're in trouble.
Exactly. That's why I don't want Brainiac as the villain in the first movie. Because what are you going to do after Brainiac? There's not much you can do besides after Brainiac. I want Lobo in the first movie.
That's great.
We will get to that in just a little bit. Let me get through the rest of these comments, and we're going to get into more of those topics in just a second. Jay says studio execs interfere at DC was the problem. Could be. 80s kid Zack Snyder doesn't understand Superman. How Superman doesn't destroy cities and snap necks.
Did he destroy the city?
No, he did not.
Yes, he destroyed the city.
No, he did not. Watch the movie.
Much of this...
Please.
Wait.
Here we go.
You don't see him get Dragon Ball Z thrown through the not Eiffel Tower. The
city was already destroyed by the time him and Zod started fighting. The terraforming machine destroyed Metropolis.
Yeah, it was the world engine,
and then everything was already broken. Everything was already broken.
Zod was still like smashing into buildings. Like he had a hand in the destruction.
I mean, at that point, it was like the world engine had already destroyed Metropolis. So we arguing about like already broken buildings. Oh, don't break that no more. It's like it's broken.
Don't break that.
I'm gonna watch the movie.
But any other Superman that was not done by Zack Snyder would have taken Zod into would have put Zod into a non-populated area. Would have fought Zod in a non-populated area.
On his first day?
Like the desert. I don't think he had a choice.
Well,
on his first day?
Well, was Zod not calling out for him before that all happened?
They started out in Kansas, and he punched him into Metropolis after he attacked his mom, which I got. Like, yo, don't touch my mother.
Literally said it. Don't touch my mother.
Yeah. Yo, and that whole fight in that small town, amazing.
Amazing.
Oh no, that was great. I totally agree. Destroying the Waffle House was okay.
We don't need Waffle House.
It'll be back up.
We don't need Waffle House. We don't need any more Sears. I mean, there's barely any left anyway.
So we don't even have a Sears around here anymore.
We don't need a roof on Waffle House.
All right, gotta keep going. That film show, The Lack of Superman bothered me. Dark Room Review says it was an origin story, y'all.
Right.
80s Kid says Superman is the light in the darkness. And he says Superman is a person who wants to do the right thing. Lois has black hair and is snarky. All right, I don't think the look of Lois
hair doesn't matter.
Yeah,
the hair doesn't always stay black.
It's the attitude for Lois that makes Lois.
I've never seen
I-
Lois not snarky in a casting.
Right.
I think they've
Yeah,
always
this
got
Los
that.
was snarky too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, 80s
That's
kid says
also not
Batman
true.
doesn't kill people. Yes, he
Batman has
does.
killed people.
Batman has always killed people.
Batman
He tries
started
not
out
to.
with guns.
He says he doesn't.
He started out with guns.
There's evidence to the contrary.
Yeah, Batman had guns up until the 1945, 1950s. He had
The
guns.
issue, the issue is that a lot of people have this version of the character from the animated stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And don't realize that's not all the character is. Batman
Yeah.
started
There are
killing
tons
people
of
after
different
Jason
arcs with
Todd
Batman. And, yeah.
died, and he started not caring. Oh, he fell off the building. I'm not going to save you this time. That's killing someone.
I think Batman has the most diverse versions of him.
Yeah.
So much so that like you can't say Batman is this because there's so many different versions of him, and so many different versions of him are beloved. So it's very hard to pin down. That's not Batman. I
And
mean,
it's
over
the
here
same
it
thing
is.
with
So
The
almost all
only
the
thing
DC
you
heroes.
can say, the
Mhm.
only thing you can say about Batman is always going to be constant is he's a genius and he could always work himself out of something.
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. And his parents
Yeah.
are dead. If his parents are alive,
Right
he's just
now?
not Batman.
Even Batman 66, smart as a whip.
Let's not talk about Batman
Yeah,
66.
yeah,
The man
that
has
wasn't
sharp,
Batman.
he has sharp
Ben
repelling
Affleck had a lot
back
of
thread.
potential.
Stark
You have to be a
repellent.
genius to have that.
Man.
Yeah,
Good slapstick fun for about 20 minutes, and then I can't do anymore.
I hear that
That
though.
review was hilarious.
That's it. Like I can handle it for a little while and make fun of and be like, okay, this is kind of fun. But after 20 minutes, I'm finished with that. Like I
when
can't do
you're
more than
when you're 6 and you're watching it
Yeah.
for 30 minutes at a time, it's an excellent show. But
Right.
no,
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah,
adult.
I feel you. All right.
Yeah.
80s Kids, however, Ben Affleck had good potential. I like Ben Affleck's
Ben
Batman.
Affleck was great as Batman, in my opinion.
80s
That
Kid,
solo
Wonder Woman
Batman movie sounded
2017
crazy.
is overrated. I found it anticlimactic too. Oh, I
I
disagree. I
what
really
don't
liked
what was
disagree with that.
overrated?
Wonder Woman 2017, the first Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
I'll be honest with you. I don't disagree with that at all.
Really?
I thought that Ares was weak.
So, yeah, that was another one where I thought the final villain kind of hurt the movie a little bit at the end.
okay, yeah, I can see
he
I can see
basically
that.
because they turned him from like he's essentially he just looked like Albert Einstein in an armor suit, and I was like, y'all could have casted anyone who looked intimidating in the slightest, but it was
Yeah,
and then
I
he was.
feel
But I think
He was
the point
Spider-Man
was he
swinging
wasn't supposed to
on-
look
no, that was
intimidating.
second movie. Never mind.
He wasn't supposed to look intimidating. I think that was the
He was
point.
trying to. He was
They should got
blending.
Stone Cold. They
Yeah.
should got Stone Cold Steve Austin to be Ares.
No,
I don't.
that would have
I
been
mean,
so off.
That would have been kind of cool. I would have wanted to see that.
Exactly.
I would
Your
like to.
That's what Ares
nostalgia-
is.
Your
I would like to
nostalgia
see
is
it.
blinding you. Have you seen
I'm
this
just
man act?
saying.
Have you seen Expendables
Well,
2
I'm not
and
saying
3?
I'm saying someone that size, that attitude. I'm
I
not
gotta say
saying
the way
I'm
So
not
don't
saying
go a big.
You want to take
No,
over?
I
Yeah,
want-
girl, give me a hell yeah.
I'm leaning
The
into
way-
that. I want
the
to
way
see the
Ares
beer
was written in that
smashing
movie.
Stone Cold.
I don't know that it would have took a great actor to play that
Mm.
part for Ares the way he was written in that one. Anyway,
I thought that there were great parts of Wonder Woman from 2017.
the entire war stuff was fantastic.
that was good, but at some point it just got to the point where it's like, wait, what are her powers? Like, she
when
can
she
do
gets up,
anything she
gets
wants
up
to
and
do
walks,
at any time.
when she
Yeah.
gets up and walks across the war field.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Amazing.
Great
Yeah,
scene.
that was iconic. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's keep going. Wonder Woman 2017 was too dark of a tone. Oh, I thought it was one of the brighter movies in DCEU.
Nah,
I
brighter.
thought it was
I didn't
dark.
think it was brighter. I definitely thought it was
Nah,
dark.
definitely not.
I just didn't
brighter.
think it was too dark because she's in the middle of a war. Like that's
Yeah.
the
Plus,
setting.
it's Wonder
Yeah,
Woman.
but I don't know. There was a
I'm
lot
sorry,
more
Well, you
like
gotta
humor and
remember-
things like
has a
that.
tint.
You got to remember the Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
has
I
two
know what
different
you're saying.
versions of her. There's the Dark Warrior and there's the lighthearted lasso tosser. And a lot of people don't
Yeah,
they don't
Well,
know that there's two different versions.
I'm just saying. I thought that first
Mhm.
Wonder Woman had a lot more of the comedic back and forths, with her and Chris Pratt's
Mhm.
character, and some of those. To me, that was the lighter tone that was in that movie. Was
Mm.
just the the more fun aspect that they introduced into
Mhm.
that we really didn't see a lot in the other movies. That's what I
Yeah,
was
Wonder Woman
referring
will
to
kick
there.
your butt, then give you a kiss on the cheek afterwards.
'Tis
80s
true.
kid. Wonder Woman movies should be lighthearted.
No.
I don't know about that.
I don't know that lighthearted, but 80s Aquaman was an awesome movie. I really liked Aquaman.
Me too.
That's why I'm not sure why I'm not as excited about the second one, because I really
I
liked the
wasn't a
first one.
big fan of Aquaman,
Because of
but
Amber
I
Heard?
didn't hate it. No, I don't care about Amber Heard.
No, that part I don't care about that either. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great in the first one.
I wasn't a big fan of Aquaman. However, it's not a terrible film. I just wasn't a big fan of it. The one thing that they did, which I will always continue to commend them for, is somehow, some way, translating that Black Manta suit and making it look cool. I never thought it would have looked cool in live action, but it looks
Yeah,
cool
that's
as
true.
hell.
Yeah.
And it looks
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, that big head wasn't that awkward.
Yeah,
I mean, I was surprised.
they made it look really good. The one
They
thing I
made
was
it
like,
look
call me
believable.
Black Manta. No, I'm not doing that. I don't know who you think you are, but I'm not about to just call you Black Manta because you told me to. But yeah.
Ben Affleck was underused. He would have been great in a Solo.
Agreed.
Shazam was okay, but it wasn't great. I really like
I
Shazam.
love Shazam, actually.
Me too. I love both of those.
It's my second favorite
Now-
DCEU.
Now, would you agree that one's a lighthearted movie more so than?
No,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
lighthearted.
Well,
Super
it's
lighthearted.
lighthearted.
And then you have
It's
the
a
part where he
13-year-old.
Yeah, it's lighthearted,
Right.
and then you have the part where he runs into his real mom.
He's a
And
kid.
he's just
Jesus
rude.
Christ.
Yeah.
And that was
Even
like
before that, the boardroom scene.
yeah.
Jesus, it
But
balanced
then-
the darkness and the lightness really well.
Poor John Glover.
Yeah.
But the best part about that was after he meets his mom for the first time and realizes there's some moms you just don't want, he goes up to the roof, jumps off, and yells Shazam and fly. Yo, that was so
That was
damn
fire.
cool. That was
Mhm.
amazing. It was inspiring to say the least.
Mm.
But yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed that first movie. I enjoyed the second
just-
movie as well.
The suit was just too rubbery, I thought, though. But that was just me.
Mhm.
Yeah, they improved it in the second one.
Yeah.
80s Kid, I didn't see Blue Beetle. Was it good? It looked good, but I heard it was very generic. I really like Blue Beetle. It
thought
did
it was
have a
great.
lot of the tropes we've seen in other superhero movies, but at the same time, it really worked for that movie.
Yeah.
and I thought
At
it-
some
I
point, we're
thought it
going to
all
learn
played
that
really well.
superhero movies are a genre, and genres have tropes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You don't have to live with it.
Westerns, horror films,
Yeah.
comedies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all have tropes.
And there's subgenres and there's other things like that, but the good guy will win at the end of the day, and he'll have a
Right.
cool suit. And someone's parent is going to die. Like, name me a superhero whose parent isn't dead. Like, there's very few. There probably is one, but you'll be
Gold.
hard pressed to find one. Miles'
Um,
parents are still alive somehow, but that'll change soon.
It'll change.
Well, they weren't for a while.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, they
not
were
according
dead.
to the cartoon. The cartoon, his dad's fixing to die.
I don't think that's gonna end up happening.
We'll find out.
I really don't
yeah,
care.
yeah. I think he's going to escape.
All right, Darkroom Reviews, the gorilla villain, which I think he's talking about.
Right,
Grodd.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Grodd.
an interesting character to see
Right?
live action.
Oh yeah.
Grodd could be a second movie villain for Flash.
Yeah.
Grodd could have been a first
be the
movie
end.
villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have been the first.
I just think Grodd is so tough that it would be. I mean, yeah, he could be for sure.
I think
Well,
his
Grodd
first
is
set of
still-
villains should be his-
Reverse Flash.
no,
I'm sorry,
not the
I don't mean
first
to
one.
speak for you.
You
I'm-
tease Reverse Flash, but I think his rogues gallery,
The
'cause
Trickster.
Flash has a great one. Is the all those people with the elemental powers that come together to face.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great movie
I agree.
where him have to stop a bunch of different
I
people.
actually have a Flash villain in my list for today when we get to that in a little bit.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, you just don't start Flash with Flashpoint. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but,
no.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a Justice League movie.
The Batman was great. I enjoyed the Batman.
Favorite Batman movie.
He
Oh,
said
that
yeah,
Batman-
really good.
The
Really good.
the Robert
I don't
Pattinson.
know. That was one of the few that I didn't like.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite Batman movie.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I think my favorite is Dark Knight, but I really, really like the Batman. The Batman's like a movie I really enjoy.
I mean, I even like Batman
I think
Forever, so
Batman
I can't
Returns
say a whole lot.
underrated.
I think it's
Mhm.
Alfred that turned me off on that movie.
Oh, really?
Batman? Oh, yeah. He
Andy
was a little
Serkis?
different.
Whoa.
Wait,
Yeah,
Here's
that's
my
the
friend.
same guy that was in Black Panther, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Andy
Yep.
Serkis. He's in tons
Yeah.
of
Like
things.
Claw.
Yeah. Just wasn't Alfred.
Hey, he could be
was-
Grodd. You know, he's done the monkey stuff before.
Yes.
That's a
That
wild
he
step.
has.
But I mean,
yeah.
that was the main thing about the Batman I didn't like was Alfred was just wrong, and it just put a shadow on the whole movie for me.
Mm.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
Press review: The Flash was great. So was Blue Beetle. I'm glad you like both of those.
Mhm.
And says Black Adam was surprisingly good. Glad you liked that one too.
I like Black Adam.
I did not like Black Adam at all, but I want
Okay.
people to love the things that they love.
I didn't say I loved it.
Yeah.
I
No,
liked it.
enjoy. No, enjoy. Love what you love. It's all good. Movies are different for different people.
I like more of the scenes than I did the whole movie together.
It
Black
was
Adam
fair.
should not
repetitive.
have Black Adam should not have had his own movie.
That's
Hmm.
another. That's another thing.
I mean, I think you're
Yeah.
saying that because of what we got, but if they made a good movie, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, that's always true.
No,
Black Adam
You know.
that's a great
okay.
mythos. He could have got his own movie.
He shouldn't have been introduced in his own movie.
Right.
He could have
Okay.
got his own movie later.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree
But
with that.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Again,
agree. With
DC's rushing. They were rushing stuff.
I would
man.
have much rather seen a Shazam 2 with the
No,
Black Adam villain and
that
then
was
have
a
Black Adam
Dwayne
have his own
Johnson.
afterwards.
That was a Dwayne Johnson mess up.
He inserted himself in
He
that role. Really.
insisted on that one.
Yep, he sure
All right.
did.
Let's rush through some more. Zach versus Kim, the dawn of a Snyder Cut war.
I love Zach. It's never versus
Me
me.
too.
Batman v
Yeah.
Superman was not earned. Hades Kid
What
says
did
no,
I
it
I
was
agree with
not.
that.
Jay says Flash should not have a movie.
I don't
I'm okay with
know.
a Flash
What?
movie if it's done right.
One of
What?
the greatest superheroes of all
Wait,
time.
I
You need
need
a
a
movie?
Huh?
I'm very confused.
He
80s
needed
Kid
a
said
movie, but
agreed.
maybe sooner.
My Flash is
Lamar
Wally
Thompson.
West.
Hey, what's up, Lamar?
Lamar,
What's
would
up?
you rather your favorite character be nerfed or broken up in the next movie film? The twist is it's box office hot in both either way.
Hmm.
Nerfed or broken up or broken OP.
Broken
OP.
OP. Overpowered. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nerf or broken. I say
What?
like
I
overpowered
think
OP.
nerfing is. I think
Yeah.
nerfing is always the way to go, just for general audiences. I think OP characters, it gets people lost because like I can't like fathom that amount of power.
Right.
They're boring. They could just
Okay.
do this and yada yada yada. So I
Yeah.
think nerfing.
As much as I like
But yeah,
Superman and Captain Marvel, I'm bringing them up for a reason.
yeah.
They are two of the most powerful characters in existence based
Mhm.
on what we've seen, right? And
Right.
the reason why they can be so hard to translate is because no one believes that they'll lose, right? So you have to make a compelling story where something around them is going terribly and they have to make a choice essentially. Or
Mhm.
It's their
Brainiac.
humanity that's
Yeah.
always going to be their downfall, and
Right.
that's what the
Yeah.
directors haven't gotten.
Yeah.
Now, and they did it right in the first Shazam, but they haven't got it right since 1978
Mhm.
for Superman.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Well, you mean in movies? Because
Yeah.
we've gotten a
Mm.
bunch of TV shows that
No.
have gotten it right.
Mhm.
Tyler Hoechlin's has gotten pretty good.
That is a good Superman show. I really enjoy that show.
I enjoyed that show. I really
Dean
wish they
Cain,
continued
Dean
with it.
Cain did okay.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Dean
Uh,
Cain is
Talk about
actually
Dean
my favorite
Iteration.
iteration of Superman. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just his show was a little too campy.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It was, but I kind of like that. Like it was
Yeah.
fun to me.
And
I love Terry
Nerf is
Hatcher.
fine if it's for story reasons, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
everybody knows that Wolverine is one of the most badass people in the world.
Uh-huh.
However, Logan, he's quote unquote nerfed because of old age and because he's at the end of his road. And that movie turned out to be great because you saw he can't heal as fast, right?
Right.
Everything
Right.
hurts now. So
There's more
Well,
stakes.
yeah, there's
That
more.
and they didn't go into it, but was that because of the metal poisoning, or was that because what I understood in the comics and is that it was a mental block. He wanted to grow old. He was
I
tired.
think that could totally be it. I think that he could totally be like, I'm checked out. I'm
Just
done.
tired. Yeah.
There's nothing.
Right.
There's, my
It
race
was a
has been run.
depression. It was a
Yeah.
depression.
Mhm.
Depression will age you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. I'm going to speed up through some more. Remember, they teased Superman in the first trailer of Justice League, and he was in the poster.
Hmm.
The
What?
original Justice League,
I
they
remember
they
the trailer,
omitted him from so much of it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he wasn't in the trailer or the posters. He
Yeah,
wasn't in
until
the
like
poster
right
until after the
before
movie
it came out.
out.
Yeah,
I think that's
right,
when the movie came out. That's when they were like, "Here, Superman's
It's
like
not doing
we
as well
knew."
as we thought.
No,
Yeah,
no,
we
he
knew he
was.
was coming back.
They hinted it in the trailers, and that's what irritated me is because it was like, okay, you killed him in Batman versus Superman, and then you're
Mhm.
hinting at him in. Okay, so that's
The
what
next
gets me
day,
with the
basically.
trailers nowadays. They give
Mhm.
you the whole thing and then wonder why you don't go to the movies.
Mm.
All right. First day as a hero has to be save the planet.
That's a bit
Oh,
opaque.
Talk about Man of
I don't know
Steel.
that I agree with that.
That's what the studios have a problem with. They don't understand. You don't have to save the planet. You just have to save a single person, and that can be a great movie if you
Yep.
do it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should escalate it as it goes. So
Mhm.
maybe save Metropolis, then it goes to the world as you go on.
Well, you
right,
can just
we're gonna
save an office building.
We're going to start with
Save the
Lamar here
staple.
when we come back. I'm going to go ahead and get to our next topic here.
Mhm.
The returning characters. So, James Gunn, we got that report here a while back that we're getting back, and I already know Don's opinion on this, but we're getting back Blue Beetle, we're getting back Peacemaker, Amanda Waller, and Vigilante. Those
Mhm.
are 4 characters we know for sure that are coming back in whatever capacity they are, whether it's continuing or its own new twist on those characters, whatever it's going to be. What do you guys think of those 4 characters coming back? And are you happy to see them? And are you mad that it's not someone else? We'll start with you, Don. Let's see what you say on this.
Well, Amanda Waller, I don't see anyone that can play Amanda Waller better. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
extremely
agree.
happy with that one. But no, the characters that I think that James Gunn's bringing them back aren't exactly part of the DCEU. They never have been. They were part of Gunn's DC universe, but they were never really a part of the greater DCU universe. They were always apart. So I understand why he's bringing them back is because they really didn't interact.
You're saying they were kind
That
of
is
on the
not
side.
true.
They were kind of kept separately. Yeah, and I know you're going to
Blue
bring it up
Beetle's the only
because,
one that didn't interact.
because the Justice League and everything was a part of
Amanda Waller
the
was a
end of.
Suicide Squad. She literally talked to Batman.
Well,
That's true.
no, that's why I said Amanda Waller is just you can't find anyone that plays her better. But the rest,
That's not true.
who are you going to find that fits a? Well, I'm not going to get
Amanda
into
Waller
that.
is a great character, but I love Viola Davis, but somebody else could play her.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
And
want to see
also,
anybody else.
Peacemaker literally talked to Aquaman in the Flash.
He did.
Yeah, but
That could be
He
easily
talked-
retconned.
he talked to
But it
a
shouldn't have to be.
Aquaman and Flash. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to
he,
be the
he,
exact
he
same.
definitely talked to
Aquaman and
shadows.
Flash.
He talked to the Flash in his old suit from. It's not like
Yeah,
they were
but-
blurred or nothing. It's like it was Ezra Miller.
Like I said, those can
was
be
clear.
it can be easily.
You can just say they were
retconned.
recasted for whatever, and that maybe those were different versions of the Flash and
And
Aquaman.
plus,
and
You already
it's
lose
there's
the
ways
character
around
on
it.
You can't tell me that Peacemaker is not going to make a wisecrack. Wait a minute. I could have swore you were someone else the last time, or something along those lines.
that does seem very Peacemaker.
Yeah.
It's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Fourth wall breaking.
Well,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
he mentioned Batmite in the series. I mean, so
He did. I still don't think we're gonna get Batmite in this DC.
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
think
it
we're
is
seeing
James
that.
Gunn, though.
mean,
Well,
yeah.
now that we have
No
James
one's
Gunn, I
going-
definitely
Right.
think we're having it.
it's James Gunn's universe. You don't think we're going to get Mr. Implant? I can't say his name. Or Batmite. They're going to
Yeah,
show
we're gonna
up
get the-
sooner or
Very
later.
possible. Very possible.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my feeling is that the James Gunn universe. Plus, he's the freaking master of DC now. You can't tell me he's not going to bring his own wife over. I mean, he's going to bring his wife over, or he's not going to get any for the next 6 months. So,
Oh man! All right, Zach. You look like you're itching to talk. Let's get over to you on the same topic.
I've been vocal about that. I'm not a big fan of James Gunn taking it over DC.
Okay.
I don't have much confidence in it just yet. I think that the DC brand is hurt for multiple reasons. The movie is not being loved by general audiences. The Arrowverse kind of starting to tank. Them kind of getting rid of shows people like, and other shows being like shoved in the corner, like Harley Quinn show, Doom Patrol, stuff like that. People love Young Justice coming back, going away. And things like, it's just a lot of faith hurt, and they didn't have a DC Studios. That's the main problem. Not Zach, not this, not that. The fact that there was no studio. But so when they're making a studio and they're making a head, I need somebody that's going to like do like safe stuff. And James Gunn is not gonna do that. He's already casted Metamorpho, the most D-list character you can think of that's super duper weird. And he already is making.
I think he'll fit good though.
I don't look. Metamorpho is terrific. Hawk Girl being in a Superman movie is weird to me.
Yep.
Especially now that this is a new universe and we need to focus on just Superman. It just seems a similar problem that Batman vs Superman had that a lot of people complained about, all these characters being in the movie at the same time.
That wasn't my complaint with that movie.
Well, I'm not saying y'all complained, but a lot of people complained that a lot of people were shoved in a lot of these movies at the same time. And he's doing the Authority, he's doing Swamp Thing, he's doing these off-cuff characters.
Wait, real quick. I just want to refocus us because I know my lord, what is DJ wanted to talk about returning characters.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about the future.
I do have newly announced characters coming up here in a minute too. So
so in terms of returning characters, I like Peacemaker season 1.
I love that season.
I liked it. I didn't love it. I think half of the show was just jokes and not really a lot of story. But I still enjoyed my time with it. It's not really the character that I would like to see in the future. I like Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, and I love Jaime as Blue Beetle. So I'm kind of happy that with the Jaime Zolo as Blue Beetle. And I didn't really care for Vigilante that much. But
not even
I just feel like if you're
jail scene.
No, I guess because I'm comparing him to the CW Vigilante, which I thought was a much better version of the character. I didn't like he was just like Deadpool light, but I'm not gonna crap on that show. I still like the show. It just feels weird. He's keeping his friends and then casting his friends and just getting rid of everything else. I think that's my thing, especially since I really liked the DCEU. I like the castings. I like the stories. I just felt like someone needed to come in and just give it direction. So now he's just like resetting parts of stuff and then keeping other things. Like I'm not be surprised if Margot Robbie's still Harley Quinn because he has a relationship with her. And I find that weird. Like I don't know if what's his name? Kevin Feige does this in Marvel. But at the end of the day, the fact that I don't know makes me feel okay. I feel like he's making the decision, the right decision, instead of making decisions for his friends. But off the bat, I already know this about James Gunn. So it makes me feel like he's not always going to make the best decision for the DC universe, which is a universe that I love. I think has more potential than the MCU. So that's kind of like my problem with the returning characters, is the fact that he's taking his friends over and prioritizing that. He can't fire his wife. Like he can't make the hard decision. That's what scares me.
I mean, I personally like all his friends that he brings in and over, and I've never disliked a single James Gunn film. So I'm fine with it myself, but I do understand your trepidation for it and where you're coming from on that for sure.
Yeah.
Ken, you got some thoughts on this?
Yeah. So I'm a little hypocritical about this in particular, just because my entire
at least you're upfront about it.
Yeah, I mean we're all hypocritical But my entire thought process on the new DCU is that it should be completely reset. Like there should be nothing coming over from the old universe, except for the fact that Viola Davis is all that. Like so, I like when he comes over, I'm like, I mean, whatever. But and Peacemaker coming over, I have no issue with that. Honestly, I would feel better if Peacemaker was an Elseworld story, and then okay, cool,
Okay.
I would still watch Peacemaker. Like I'm going to watch Peacemaker anyway. I'm going to watch all this stuff. But for me, I do think that hey, let's leave all the old residue from the old universe behind. Reason being is that if you are making a new recipe, you don't take leftovers from the meal that was bad, right? So that's just not a good way to mix things in, which is why I'm happy that he got rid of is a little strong, but which is why I'm happy that he's recasting the Justice League and those main players, right? Not because they're bad, but because you don't want old new wine and old wine skins. I'm sorry, you don't want the bad ingredients in the new recipe. However,
do you think
Kamala,
do you think that he kind of these particular characters that he's moving are just such small scale characters that he didn't figure like it mattered as much as opposed to those
I
bigger
honestly
characters?
think that is his thought process, and I honestly can't disagree with it. Like in the grandest of schemes of things, what needle does Peacemaker move? Right?
Yeah.
In terms of the Justice League, what needle does Vigilante move?
No.
None. Now, the one I'm super happy that he brought over was Shola Maduana. I know I messed that up. The Blue Beetle, right?
Call him Cholo.
So I thought it was Sholo. Like I don't know the X in.
I think it's Zolo.
Zolo.
Zolo. Yeah. So I'm glad he brought Zolo over, and I think that honestly bringing Zolo over isn't that big of a deal because he had zero ties to the past universe. Oh, Batman exists here. Which one? Like it.
Yeah.
It makes no difference, right? So they've never mentioned Zod destroying New York or Metropolis. I'm sorry, they never mentioned any of that stuff. It's just these characters exist here. Cool. You would assume that if Blue Beetle shows up, other superheroes have been here for a minute. You know what I mean? So because he's probably like the junior of the squad. So so at the end of the day, those returning characters don't really make any difference to me. Because like I said, they don't really move the needle that much to cause an issue. If Aquaman and like Wonder Woman were coming over, I'd be like, hey, buddy, let's recast. Let's try this again. They're good, but it doesn't make sense for this universe. Right? So that's it.
Okay. Jason, last thoughts on this?
Yeah, so pretty much mirroring what Ken said. I don't understand why we need to have so Zolo makes sense, okay? But like the Peacemakers, like any time that you interact with the old characters, like I don't know what James Gunn is thinking. He wants to be successful in this. He knows how people feel about the old DCEU. I can't think in my head why he would bring old characters. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me.
I think it is the fact that none of them move the needle whatsoever.
But even so, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, don't have them in there. It's like Peacemaker, for example. He had the whole cameo with the Justice League at the end of his show, right? Now you're gonna put him in a whole. How are you gonna do that? He literally has interaction with the old DCEU.
He's got to ride his way out of it now. Yeah.
Now he has to write. Why would you do that to yourself?
Here's the thing. When it comes to writing,
he's a good writer.
What's he gonna write?
He made me fall in love with
universe
in a
What's he gonna say? Like,
okay,
it doesn't make sense.
I love the Guardians films, but I don't want to hype up his writing that much. Drax is not a great character.
So out of all the characters, Drax being a great character.
I'm not done. Gamora was severely undercooked. Like when I compare these characters and think about how great they could have been if they weren't just jokes, the characters could have been better. Like,
So, yeah,
that's
I'm
what I'm
going to
saying.
disagree
It's
with you, but
so
you
I-
already know I
yeah.
love you, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, so that's one of the things that I loved about the Guardians is because they weren't Iron Man, they weren't Thor,
Yeah.
it wasn't a freaking Captain America movie. They were
Iconic
funny.
characters.
Yeah,
It was
I
fun.
like the comedic aspect of them the most. That's
they
actually
were
my
a
favorite
group
part.
of
Yeah, that's the
really
thing that grabbed
different,
me. Right,
very
right.
interesting friends, and it's like, oh, look, it's that group of friends that have their own inside jokes.
Mhm.
Like that's
Yeah.
how they felt. They felt like this ragtag family that was
Some
put
people you
together.
could hang out with.
Putting that
Yeah.
back to DC, putting back to DC because I know this is DC stream. In terms of character development and character writing, I trust Gunn expeditiously in that. And even so, no, we'll talk about future when we get to the future subject. So yeah, that's all I'll say about it. I'm sorry, Jason, I took over
Yep.
your whole jump.
Oh no! I was done, but pretty much I'll say this: I'm more confident in James Gunn's ability to write for a group of characters than I am for him to write solo.
Yeah,
I'm really worried
that's
about
really
the
it with
Superman
him.
movie.
And I think that's why there's
You're
so
worried
many
about Superman.
characters in the
We'll
Superman
get into
movie.
that Superman in a minute.
Mhm.
That is definitely a conversation we've got to have for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our returning. Me personally, you've heard me throughout, coming back and forth a little bit. I'm happy to have these characters back. I don't think that it makes a big deal whether or not they've interacted a little bit, like in the Peacemaker show. I think there's a way to get around that, even if it is a bad MacGuffin to do it. I don't know, but I think there's a way to get around it and move on. But I also think, okay, see you in a minute. I also think that it definitely could have just been left out, or like one of y'all mentioned, the Elseworlds thing. That could have been a perfect Elseworlds story to continue. I mean, we've got the Batman universe, we've got the Joker universe. You could have had that with the Peacemaker stuff too, and just continue that on its own thing. And if you want to keep Amanda Waller for both, I'm just let her play it and just don't explain it. Just let her be Amanda Waller. I mean,
Right.
that's the best way I know to do Waller on that. But and Blue Beetle, I think Blue Beetle's fine because, like a couple of y'all said, he doesn't really tie into anything, and I don't expect he's going to have his own solo movie again anyway. At least for a while, he'll be jumping into other people's stuff. So I think that'll be all right. All right. Before we go back to the comments, unless anybody's got anything else last minute they want to say.
No.
Before we go back to the comments, let's go ahead and just jump into the newly announced characters. Then we'll do comments, and then we'll do all our picks for who we want to see brought in. So, newly announced characters. There's several of them. I'm not going to go through everything because we know there's a bunch of shows that have been announced with different groups of people. We know there's like a Swamp Thing. We know we've got a Lantern show coming. We've got that is a Themyscira show that they compared to Game of Thrones or whatever's going on with that without Wonder Woman.
I forgot about that one.
So we've got shows like that coming. We've got
Island.
we know we're getting Paradise Island. We know we're getting a Booster Gold television series. We know we're getting, which I'm super excited for. I know there's some in here way back over that way that are not as excited for that, but I'm really excited for Booster Gold. I've even got my thanks to House of L Comics, I have my Booster Gold 8.5 sitting right here.
Oh wow,
Nice.
That's dope.
Thanks, Don, for that.
I got a signed 9.0.
Oh well, show off. So yeah, so I'm excited for that one. And then of course we've got movies like Batman: Brave and the Bold, which is going to bring in Damian Wayne, so we know we're getting that character. We've got Superman Legacy, which is already announced. We've got our Superman and Lois. We've got Metamorpho, you guys mentioned, Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific. A lot of characters coming into that, and we've got some rumors for some other characters, but nothing confirmed on a couple of those. So we'll wait on some of those, but. Let's hear you guys' thoughts on that. Who wants to go first? Somebody raise their hand. All right, Ken's gonna go first. I couldn't see Donovan or Don, so I don't know.
So I'm black. No. So what's happening? So
Is that your direct? Like, I'm like,
so a lot of the new characters or the newly announced characters, I'm cool with, and my biggest approach to this universe is that it could absolutely suck, but it could also be absolutely awesome. My biggest thing is I have no idea, and I won't know until I see it. So there's things I'm excited for, and there's things I'm not excited for. Some of the things I'm excited for could turn out to be trash, and some of the things I'm not excited for can turn out to be great. That's why even as you mentioned, Booster Gold, DJ. Although I don't like Booster Gold as a character, it was just one arc I read, which completely turned me off to the character. That's typically not how I operate, because if I read him in another comic book and he's great, then I love that version of him. I take each version
I got you.
as her own thing. So if this show comes out and it's dope, I'm going to be super happy. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Creature Commando. I'm excited for Creature Commandos only from the standpoint of I don't know who these people are, and James Gunn does a really good job of introducing people who to me that I never heard of before. Even as a comic book fan, the Guardians were like, who's that? So
Yeah.
I was really like, and so then I met him, and then I loved him, right? So, but it could turn out to be trash. I think the big thing that I'm really like hanging my hat on with all these new characters is that James Gunn isn't going to be directing them. I think there's this perception that because James Gunn running the universe, everything's going to feel like James Gunn, and I don't believe that. I think James Gunn is smart enough to delegate those kind of responsibilities and delegate those like James Gunn is someone who benefited from being allowed to cook. So I find it really hard to believe that he's not going to let other people cook in their own way as well.
And I think Peter Safran's going to hold him accountable to that as well.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm super excited for Swamp Thing. Like just like the horror element of it. Like I don't know much about it, but when you tell me like it's going to be a horror thing, and from the little bit of Swamp Thing I read from a Batman annual from a couple years ago that Tom King wrote, I'm really excited for it.
James Mangold is directing and writing.
James Mangold is phenomenal. And even like with that, I believe that, and this is a shot at Marvel in a sense, but not that deep. When Marvel announced, Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Man is going to be like horror, is going to the horror elements. I was like, that's it? That's your horror? That's your horror? So, but with James Gunn allowing people to cook, I believe that when he says we're going to get some horror elements in about to say Man Thing and Swamp Thing, I believe we're going to see some ish. I almost cursed on the family friendly program. So I'm excited for that. The one I'm not as excited for, if I'm being honest, is the Themyscira show, and that's only because I don't like the decision of, hey, we're going to introduce the lore around this character without that character already having been established. Like, yeah, give me the Wakanda show. Yeah, but you already gave me a Black Panther movie, so I'm cool with that. Don't give me a Wakanda movie. 2 Black Panther movies. Don't give me a Wakanda show, and I haven't seen your version of Black Panther. It's just strange to me. So, and I really want people to stop. The Game of Thrones like? It's like, well, maybe in structure, but you realize that you're putting, just by saying those words out loud, you're putting
that was his words.
Unnecessary like burden on yourself to live up to that. Because when I
agree, but
not when, but if it doesn't do as well, which it's going to be hard to do as well as Game of Thrones in and of itself. Even if the show was good, it's like, why did you do that? Why'd you say that? Because if he didn't say that, people would have like judged it on its own merit. But now we're measuring it up against Game of Thrones, which, despite how it ended, there are many seasons where people loved it.
I actually like how it ended.
So yeah, I differ from you, but I love the fact that you enjoy the things that you enjoy, and I want you to
most
continue.
Emmy-winning season of television in history.
Hey man, let me tell you something. You build up the what is his name? The ice dude.
The Night King.
The Winter King.
Night King.
You build up the Night King for however many seasons, and you take him out like that, spoiler free.
Right.
I'm
that was a bummer there for sure.
He walked for 9 seasons. He got taken out a half hour.
Yeah,
it's like
I can't argue with you on that episode for sure. No.
Weird. Anyway, so
go buy a kid.
Yeah. Well, hold on. That wasn't just any kid. Yeah, I mean, she was. However, I'll end my turn.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
All right,
thank
let's,
you.
oh, go right ahead.
that's, I was going to say, we'll go Jason next. So go right ahead.
Okay, dope. Yeah. So with the new characters, I mean, I am going to give it a chance
Mhm.
only because, like, when he mentioned Booster Gold, I wasn't excited. When he mentioned the Mascara show, I wasn't excited. But then I remembered how much I absolutely love some of the characters that I don't know. So, for
Mhm.
instance, I knew
Yeah.
nothing about Iron Man. Iron Man 1 dropped. Freaking, that's still my favorite origin story, hands
People
down.
forget how many people didn't know that much about Iron Man when that movie came out.
Right.
Yeah.
And once I learned about the character and how it mirrored Robert Downey Jr.'s life of, alcohol, whatever, then I was like, that was perfect casting, right? So as we're going into like the Booster Golds and all the ones that I'm not 100% sure of, never heard of before, I'm hoping that it can bring that same excitement as some of these other characters. Like, who thought that I would care for a Gamora or a Rocket? Like, if it's not like the Avengers or Hulk or, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
X-Men,
Yeah.
I really didn't care. But
Mhm.
they found a way to make me care about these characters, and I think it's like if the introduction to these characters off the bat is just good, you got me. I just hope that it's good. I don't care what arcs they use or whatever. I just need the intro to be the best I've ever seen from that character. And then if you want to squander them in other movies, fine. But give me a good intro.
That's
Squander.
hilarious.
Mhm.
Squander.
It's a good
All
one.
right.
One thing I forgot to mention: the buddy cop Green Lantern show that
Oh, that one sounds
most
that
excited. for.
that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to save House of L for last on this one. Zach, let's go on to you for your thoughts on newly announced, because I know you had some thoughts about the Superman and the amount of characters in it.
Yeah, I'm a
Wait,
mixed
were we
bag
talking
on
about
it.
Superman? I'm sorry. I thought we were saving Superman for later.
Well, we can. I just know that we've got newly announced characters in that show. So, I mean, if you guys want to.
Oh, okay. I'll wait till Zach is done. I'm sorry, Zach.
Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag for me where I'm like yay, and then I'm nay at the same time. I'll start positive. I'm yay because I really like the characters that they announced. Guy Gardner is a really good choice for a Green Lantern because the boys is really popular right now, and he fits that mold. I love the fact that they're going to do Hawk Girl. I wish it was Hawk Woman because that's the one that's popular from Justice League, and I think that would have been instant like recognition. Like, oh yeah, the red hair, we know who this is. I feel like there's going to be backlash because they picked the Latino one, but I'm excited personally that they did that. Excited for Booster Gold. I think he's such a fun character, and I'm really excited for Mr. Terrific. Because as a black person, we don't have a lot of characters that are amazing.
Especially in DC.
That's not a legacy character. Like Mr. Terrific is that version of Mr. Terrific is so good that the white one is never talked about. And that never happens with a legacy character. Like Peter Parker will always be talked more about Miles. Hal Jordan will always be over John Stewart, but Mr. Terrific is so dope that he's literally the white one is only talked about when he needs to go to get some mentorship real quick. Like, yo, I know you old and shit, but
I didn't know there was a white one.
Yeah, dude, he got his moniker, his jacket, everything from the original one, and I'm excited for Mr. Terrific. He's a character I think can be like a Black Panther level character, if he's done right. I'm not sure about the casting because the actor they picked was someone that I don't think can sell tickets, but I'm excited for the character.
Yet.
And yeah, who say yeah?
Yet, not someone that can sell tickets yet.
Yeah, it's possible.
He could blow up with this character and
exactly.
Yeah. Very, very, very possible, but very limited. You know, it's just because he's not a young spry actor. It's not like it's a nobody. He's been around for a while, but it's possible. You never know. Keanu Reeves' career jolted, and he was like 40, so it's also It can happen. He can get a 2 Chains effect. And then we have the Authority. I'm really excited about that. I think
I
that
forgot about
this is the best time to do it because of The Boys, because this is basically DC's version of The Boys.
agree.
And I think that these characters will be great. It is proper representation. They have gay characters, they have women, they have all this other stuff. It's not forced like people were saying they're originally like that in the comics. So they don't really have to do much in terms of that. So yeah, I'm excited for Swamp Thing. I'm excited for a lot of these characters. A lot of these characters I love personally as a DC comic book reader. On the negative side of it, I really think launching a new universe, you need to start with the original 7 and then introduce all these different characters after you launch the original 7 and then have them tie into them, because the 7 represent a different pocket of the DC universe. And once you have those, you can introduce all these smaller characters through them, you know? And them not having the 7. Sorry, Alcel, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, who do you consider the original 7 though?
My 7 is obviously Stoops, Bats, Wonder Woman, the Holy Trinity, Flash, Aquaman, and Green Lantern, the secondary Trinity. And then that 7 spot can go to Cyborg, it can go to Martian the Manhunter, it can go to a bunch of different people. I prefer Martian the Manhunter.
Same.
Specifically.
I'm with you.
Although I love Cyborg.
Yeah, I love Cyborg, but I just think that the general audience is always going to see him as a T-Titan, so you have to build up him as a T-Titan first and then get him in the Justice League. I think that Martian Manhunter creates a very great thing of, you know, Superman's the alien we accept because he looks like us. Martian Manhunter is the alien we do not because he looks different, no matter how many skins he changes to. And it's always that dynamic where he's the outsider, and there's a lot of different storylines that you can do. And
that's
if
why
you
I
get
like
a Jordan
Icon,
Peele, Icon is another great character, and I'm going to talk about that when I talk about the characters I want to see when we get to the next segment. But I think that you should. That's the only negative. I don't want to talk too much longer, but that's the only negative I have, is that they should have did the Justice League 7 first. Give us a movie, and then that follow-up start doing terrific in this follow-up, Hawk Girl and all these different things. And now everybody loves this universe. Oh my God, James Gunn did it. These first 8 movies are amazing. They're $1 billion. And then you get introduce all the weird people you want because people are in and they accept it already.
Okay. So real quick, I'm sorry, Zach, I want to ask you a question because you read DC. Is there any person that was announced that's going to be in the new DCU that you haven't heard of or that you're not as versed with? I'm just curious.
I know all the characters.
Okay. That ends that.
Like I'm not like Metamorpho. I'm not like deep into his. I never read his like solo comic, but I know him. He's part of the Terrifics with Mr. Terrific. They're like the DC Fantastic Four. So like I know the character and stuff like that. But
did you read that? I don't want to get too far off topic, but did you read that Rebirth run of? I think that was after Rebirth of the Terrifics with the Metamorpho. I really enjoyed the first couple issues of that. But anyway,
Plastic Man was in it, so you know we talking.
Plastic Man's a good one. DJ, real quick, do we have a segment where we're talking about like just the makeup of the DCU?
Yeah. So after we're done with our picks of people we want to see, I do have a segment talking about where we see DCU going and what we'd like to see it do.
Okay, cool.
So,
I'll save my comments.
So yeah, so that's what I was going to say on that stuff that Zach's talking about the Superman. I knew he had some thoughts on that. We are going to dive more into that here in a little bit if we get time. I'll have to get through comments quick if we're going to get to all this, but I did want to just make sure we could talk about those characters that are in that for sure. So if there's anything you guys missed or wanted to mention. But all right, I know House L is ready to talk. We've saved him for last on this topic. So, Don, take it away. Let's hear what you got to say about this.
Well, for one thing is I really think that the guy that they have for Mr. Terrific really deserves a second chance after what Marvel did to him.
Oh, sure. Say that again for the people in the back.
Yeah.
Because
say Fox. Don't let the MC. It's not the MCU that ain't doing that.
Right. It is. That was Fox doing.
Yeah.
Because for taking a mega level mutant like him and just killing him off in a split
Unforgivable.
second, I hated that part. But
Unforgivable.
I think that
No.
announcing all the new characters, that's what I'm having faith in James Gunn. I'm praying to the James Gunn God that he does it the way I think he's doing it. Is that I think that
I think I know where you're going.
he's already said that the universe is going to be alive and superheroes are going to exist. It's not going to be Superman's first outing. I think what he's doing is he's announcing all the background characters that you're going to see in the little TV spots and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when Superman's flying around, you'll see that Green Lantern has a billboard up, or or the Terrifics new television shows coming out next week. Something along those lines. I think that's why he's getting all these new characters out because he'll eventually use all of them in the movies. But you can't just bring out Superman and just have him the only thing in there, especially if you already have a universe that's live and active. You have to have the background characters in there too. So that's what I think he's going to do. That's what I'm praying he's going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
like use if I'm hearing you correct, you're saying like just using the ancillary secondary characters to flesh out the bigger character stories.
Exactly.
Like you said, the billboards, and I see that. I can like that actually.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very The Boys.
They might have a line or two in the movie, but it might be because it's a commercial that you're seeing, or yes, I saved this guy, in a news split,
Right.
or Clark Kent is interviewing Mr. Terrific, and he's like, I gotta go,
Right.
along those lines, because Clark Kent's a reporter, so he's going to be dealing with all these people.
James Gunn said that's a big part of his character in this movie, so I can see what he's cooking.
So that's what I'm hoping.
But now, see, if he doesn't do that, I'm gonna be disappointed that it didn't go that direction.
The only reason why I don't think it's gonna go that way is because the early people who've read the script and stuff like that of his first draft, and it could change. It was the first draft. Is that the movie is about Superman ideology against these other heroes because there's an international conflict, and I'm like, maybe he might be using them more as he needs to fight people that are on his level kind of thing.
Well, that's what the elite's for, I think. I mean, not the elite, the
Authority.
I think it's not going to have a villain. I think it's going to be Superman versus the Authority. Basically, Superman versus the elite Superman versus the elite comic book.
Where you just swap out the elite for the Authority.
Exactly. I think that's what they're going to do, and then they're going to do a Authority movie. This is what I'm hoping. This is what I'm praying every day because I'm a huge DC fan. If you can tell by my moniker, that he's going to use television shows, and he's going to what?
No, I thought L was Spanish. So I thought it was House of the Comics.
No, it's House of Superman.
Yeah, Kal-El, my bad. I don't know why I never picked that.
Well, they had a comic book called House of L. I mean, it literally came out last year. So, but
don't mind my friend. He's slow sometimes.
I am. It's true.
But I think they're going to use. This is like I said. This is what I'm praying is that James Gunn's going to use the television shows and all of that to build up the universe, get people excited for the universe again before the first movie comes out. Because Creature Commando comes out before the movie. Amanda Waller comes out before the movie. Before Superman.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
So He's going to use those two shows
The
to
series.
build up the universe because they're going to have superheroes in them.
The only issue with that
Oh.
is that the general audience is not watching those shows.
According
Possibly.
to Peacemaker, they're watching these shows.
Yeah, that's a hard, because Peacemaker was a success.
But it was also
yeah.
John Cena.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what I'm
So-
saying? So Creature Commando is
yeah,
an
which-
animated show.
Well, Creature Commandos, like I said, he's just going to be fleshing out the characters.
Yeah. When it comes to
then
animation,
in the
that's where a lot of
background-
people will skip.
Yeah, Harley
Yeah.
Quinn show is one of the best DC things in a long time, but people the mass people are not watching it, even though it's still
Well,
gets
because
renewed.
they're not
Right.
advertising that one. They're just they're putting that one off into pasture to die for some reason.
I don't like
And
the
it's the
Harley
best
Quinn
show
animated
that
show.
they have.
It's-
And
Yeah, they're
that's why
a little too
that's
filthy
why
for
you're
me.
not considered family for me. You know.
Oh damn!
Yeah, the Harley Quinn's a little too rough for me. I got through the first season and I couldn't do any more after that.
Oh, the second
not
season
that-
was
Not
good.
because I thought it was bad,
Third
and I
season
have
was
watched a
even
couple
better.
other episodes here and there, and I even watched that. Was it the Valentine's special last year?
Oh yeah.
I watched that, but overall, like I can't do very much of that show. It's just too hard for me.
But you're watching The Boys
Yeah,
and
I
you're
can watch The
watching
Boys.
Gen V.
There's something about it. It just it's too rough for me to watch it. I don't know if it's because it's animated or what, but something about it just bothers me.
But that's what I'm thinking is that they're gonna use the ancillary characters. I think the characters are just gonna be in the background mostly. Because if you look at the guy that they cast for Guy Gardner, he's
Fillion?
a major he's a major Hollywood star. But look at it how he's been used in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He's
Oh,
always a background
major.
character.
yeah.
I
And
got you.
don't get me wrong, I loved him in those, but he's always been a background character. I think that right off that he's doing a kind of a mind game with us, and James Gunn loves doing this crap. I'm trying to stay clean here, but he loves doing this stuff, screwing with us, because he knows everyone pays attention to his social media.
That is true. Well, so on
I
topic
actually
here,
kind of
what do you
feel-
think?
no.
Oh, go ahead. What were you?
No, I
You
was going
say.
to actually kind of feel differently about James Gunn screwing with us, only because he's been pretty straight up. Whenever someone says, "Hey, this person has been cast," it's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" No, they haven't. Like he's been really good at like dispelling a bunch of stuff that people.
No,
just-
that's not what I'm saying by screwing with us.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying by screwing with us is he's going to bombard us with all of these characters, and then you might see him in the background for 5 seconds until they get a major role in one of the movies or television shows.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
I feel like a lot of that went into the where we see DCU going. I'm curious, are you happy with the characters that have been announced on that front that you're talking about there? Do you think that's a good?
Besides for Guy Gardner, no. I mean, yeah, I'm okay with
Okay,
everything. But
just
Guy
not a big
Gardner.
Guy Garner fan. I feel
No,
that.
I love Guy Gardner. He's the perfect. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have
Okay.
to swear on this. There's no way not to do it. Guy Gardner is the dick of the DC universe, and
Okay.
It's very true.
It's very factual.
and Nathan Fillion can.
You said you were going to swear. That
but
wasn't what
he's
I thought you
too
were going to.
old. He's
Yeah,
too
but-
old for the
Okay.
character.
You think so?
I agree with that big time, but I'm willing to see what's going to happen.
That-
Exactly.
is
I'm
kinda true.
willing to see what happens, but he's
Okay.
just way too old for the character.
To me, Guy Gardner's a 35-year-old meathead or 32-year-old meathead. Like, dude,
Yes,
you've been out of
but
high
he's
school
also-
for way
he's
too long.
also
to
the
just
third
be
one.
doing this stuff. Yeah.
He's also the
All right.
third
Well, apparently
one
the
that's-
first two will already
second.
exist. We're just getting them in the show.
hmm
Yeah.
Okay,
Well-
yeah.
We'll find out soon.
So, like I said, I'm willing to see where it goes. I like Nathan Fillion. I think he can do a good job on it. I just think he's a little too old for the character.
Gotcha.
That's fair. Yeah, this is definitely one of those things we're gonna have to wait and see because there's a lot of questions we're gonna have, and we're not gonna get those answers for a little while. So
He's
But
30
he's
years.
gonna be announcing characters left and right as soon as the actor strikes over.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be just every other day. We've cast this person. We've cast this person. Lex Luthor is definitely going to be cast, and you can't have a Superman universe without Lex Luthor.
But you can.
He might not be the major villain, but he's going to be in the movie.
all right.
Sorry.
With that,
I go in the tangents.
you're good. You're good.
All good, man.
I'm gonna
We're
have
all
to.
tangent masters.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to push us over a little bit just so we can get through some of these comments, so that we can get to our major topic of which characters we want to see. And we're gonna start with Lamar where we left off. Who says, "How do y'all feel about Nightwing being turned by when he was a ladies' man for years, aka Starfire Raven, Barbara G, etc."
So I saw this comment a while ago, and I went to go do some research. He did not get turned by. That was an article by
I've not heard that anywhere. So.
From a while ago that said that a lot of Batman characters will be turned gay, and that's not the case. Tim Drake is the bi one of the Robins, and Batwoman is the bi one. Well, she's a lesbian of the women.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I had not heard that. Dragon Movie Guy, thanks for joining. Love the stream.
What's up, Dragon?
Dragon Movie Guy says, like the dropped Zach. By the way, Zach Attack does seem a bit cleaner, like you were mentioning in your vid. Same good content either way. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep. He's Zach Attack reviews instead of Zach Attacks reviews. So he still has an S, but not where you think.
Yeah.
It's still amazing every time.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing that forever. Like anytime you do a stream with me, that's gonna be.
That's my
you still got the S, but it's not where you think. All right. Jay says Black Adam was only done because of The Rock.
Correct.
Lamar, DC is a money grab.
Every
money grab.
Every movie's a money grab.
Can I just give my little spiel on this?
I agree with you.
Okay.
Everything is a money grab. I don't know who's doing these things for charity. Even like it's made by the creatives. Are the creatives giving it for free? No.
There's nothing
Everybody's
wrong with
doing this for money.
Yeah.
And it's okay because artists should be paid.
I don't think that's a negative thing.
Yeah, it's like you think Marvel's doing this because they're not a money grab? They're all money grabs. I'm a money grab, dog. When I go into work and I put
listen, so I'll play devil's advocate here. All right. Because I agree with you, Ken.
Yeah.
Everything's a money grab.
Everything.
But DC, with how they've handled these beloved characters, it's like that's all they were thinking about was money. Hold on, because the last time I checked, it's like the rushing to get the Justice League together without allowing for all of them to have individual movies to flesh them out, tell their stories, and then group them. That was a selfish decision. They should have slowed down, waited.
I think it could have been done. I think
it could have been done way better. And they're not thinking, okay, how can we do this better? They're like, oh no, let's just throw all of them together. Let's do the Justice League now. We're gonna make a band. Like they rushed it, and that money grab situation is what failed them. Because they're not.
I actually think there's a way to start with Justice League and then trickle down.
I'm not smiling at. I'm not like.
I'm sorry, I'm still mad at them.
Looking at you. I'm just happy to see Sir Boomington.
A little strong here,
my guy. But yeah, so what I'll say about that is I can't. If I'm going to say everything's a money grab, right? Even the things I like, I can't then put that in a negative context, I should say. Connotation, however you want to say it, when it's something I don't like, right? A lot of times you're like, oh, the way that they handle it, they just didn't like the way they handled the characters. It was just money grab. Well, here's the thing, like, just because I didn't like it doesn't mean it was done with any less positive intent, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we just got to catch up with them. I think that they really.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
I think that they
main-
really thought that was the way. I think Zack Snyder really thought that was the way to go. People will agree with him. People will disagree with him.
Well,
But I can't.
that wasn't his decision, by the way. I
No,
just wanna-
no, he was ordered to do that.
Oh
Yeah.
well, see, that's a shame, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a shame. So in that sense, it was a money grab for sure.
But
No, but look at
Yeah.
this. When it comes to
Right,
Marvel,
right,
Kevin
I
Feige
like that.
almost quit MCU Studios because they didn't want to do Black Panther because they didn't think it was going to make money.
Like Perlmutter.
Because Disney cares about money. Everything's a
Uh-huh.
money grab. The only
Yeah.
reason that this movie got done is because he said they knew if he left, they would lose
Mhm.
more money because he's the
Yeah.
guy that needs to do it. Same thing with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do that movie because they didn't think, and then they saw Wonder Woman and like, oh, there's money to
Well,
be made. Let's use
my
Captain
I've
opinion,
Marvel.
they
never
shouldn't have done that
understood
movie.
the idea.
And
You
they-
can't put a
and they
black man
sh-
on screen. Holy
Well,
shit!
Historically,
No way.
unfortunately, black
We're not gonna make a
Oh.
penny in
internationally.
China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
so
You know how you
I
defeat that
think-
situation by just doing it.
Well, I think that everyone thinks it was a money grab with the DC, and which most likely it was. But it was also they were butthurt that Marvel was able to do it, and with them being the older company, they couldn't figure out how to do this first.
Mm,
So we have to get one out now to prove that it's the
right.
classic rivalry that they've always had.
It's like, to me, I think that some of what you're saying is true in terms of them being butthurt, but I don't want to character assassinate them because I don't know for sure. But I also feel like
Yeah.
they really didn't think that anything would sell except for Batman and Superman, and I don't
Exactly.
understand why they believe
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it's like that's why we have 30 different Batmans and 30 different Supermen.
well, I think
and
there's
like
there's
one Flash.
statistics showing why they believe that. The Wonder Woman show didn't last long. The Flash show got hit with a pilot and it got canceled. These characters they've tried to do it, and people do not want to see them, so they keep doing Batman and Superman over and
Linda
over.
Carter was
Mm.
beloved.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not even
That
sure.
was so long ago.
I'm not even sure if I agree with
It
that.
was
Jack,
so
because
long ago, but she was beloved. I
Yeah,
mean,
very,
she was
very long
clearly
ago.
I'm not even sure if I agree with that, Zach. Only because we get characters who we've never heard of before all the time that turn out to be fantastic.
That was because the Marvel did the work.
No, I'm talking about John Wick. I'm talking about the Equalizer. I'm talking about all these characters that who's this person? Oh,
Yeah,
the
but
trailer
people
was
treat
dope.
superhero movies different than an
I agree
action
with you,
film.
Zach. Yeah, it's different.
They do
different.
treat them different, but I
They
think
do
that
totally different.
a good trailer change, and more importantly, a good movie will change. Like, how many people said Spider-Verse wouldn't work? Like, why the hell are they doing this? And now look at us. So,
Spider-Verse
well,
didn't
at
Don't
work.
the
tell
same
House of Hell that he's
time-
going to argue with you.
At the same time, Spider-Verse, the first one didn't do well comparatively to what they wanted to do.
Oh,
And
it didn't
right,
do
right.
well
And then
because
Netflix
animation.
blew up on Netflix, and then
Yeah,
the
I
second
remember
one
that.
was huge because of that.
you talking about doing
there-
well financially or doing well critically?
Well, no, of course it did.
Financially.
It won an
Critically, it
Oscar.
did great.
Financially, it didn't do what
Right,
they
right,
wanted
right.
to do.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If you make a good product,
They will come.
Well, on
Basically.
streaming, like
That's what she
I'm
said.
confused. Like
But
the
that's
Ninja
the
Turtles
thing.
movie did not do well, as financially as much as the Paramount wanted. Right?
here's the thing: nothing has done well this year.
That's not true.
true.
Like this
We have
two,
$4 billion movies.
this
Like,
how many?
Yeah,
4?
Four?
more.
And how many more
That's
times?
rare.
I thought there was
how many
only
more
two
times have we
this
heard
year.
that something didn't meet its mark this year than we heard that something did.
There's only $2 billion as of
A
right
lot.
now. The
Sorry,
last I looked
two.
at the box office.
Oppenheimer
But
dropped.
there's a
short.
couple that are close. Yeah.
Close.
Yes, we
yeah.
have
Oppenheimer and
Barbie.
Guardians 3.
We have
Barbie and
Barbie,
Mario.
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 And
We have
Mario.
Barbie, and we have Mario.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
And then-
almost
and then real
everything
close
else
was
I've heard this
Oppenheimer
year
and Guardians
has
3.
been, oh, this didn't do as well as they wanted. Oh, this didn't do as like most of the movies this year. I feel like I've heard that consistently. Like even Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't know how people feel about it. There's no spoilers. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's not
I've
going
never
to
heard of
do
that
as
one.
well
Well,
as
yeah,
they
that's
wanted to
completely
do.
different. That's completely different.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about movies across the board in 2023 have not done nearly as well as they wanted them to do.
I mean,
I don't know.
2019 had what, $11 billion films. I mean, it was crazy in 2019.
Yeah, but
Really?
that was pre-COVID.
Wow.
It's true. I
Yeah,
still
but
think we
even
have done a lot of work to keep it
COVID
back.
plus
Even pre-COVID, that
Warner
wasn't the
Brothers
norm.
doing the whole.
No.
It was starting to become the norm. I think the problem is that COVID happened, so people still not going to theaters. They feel like, oh, I don't have to go, and then streaming.
Like,
take
it's
a
more
movie
they're picking and choosing
PVOD.
which ones they're going to.
And then Warner
Yeah.
Brothers screwed it up for everybody by
Doing a day and date.
day and
And
date.
Yeah, that was a big mistake by Warner Brothers
yeah.
part for sure.
Yeah.
And not everybody's
All
like, oh, it's just going to go on streaming. Oh yeah, sorry.
We've got to get going in these comments because we've still got other topics to hit.
Wrangle us.
Probably more talk about Nightwing. Let's move on from that. As long as the plot changes for a new universe, it really doesn't matter. Okay. Lamar makes character more times. Okay, it's still on the Nightwing stuff. We're gonna keep going past that. Lamar, also, do you think it's hard to be innovative and productive in comics today? This is in regards to character design. I see a lot of copy and paste when it comes to new characters.
Real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Just real quick. I just got to say, when people talk about new characters, oh, why are you changing the original character instead of making a new character? They make new characters all the time, and no one reads them. All the time.
Can I piggyback off that?
Why they have to change the popular ones? Go ahead.
Can I piggyback off that?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Ken.
The only thing that's out is superhero movies and sequels. I'm sorry. There's like hundreds of movies that come out every year.
Yep.
What are you looking at? Like, go look for what you want instead of just complaining about what you see.
I just heard Don say he never heard of Killers of the Flower Moon.
No, I've never heard of it.
And that's totally fine. But
watch my trailer reaction.
Original content. Put the onus on yourself to go seek it out.
Yeah.
Like my letterbox every year is full of things that are not super. I would venture to say that there's probably 5 or 6 superhero movies in my 40 movie list from Letterboxd I've seen this year.
Well, with the comment about the new characters, they do new characters all the time, and the new characters survive and they thrive. But if you're not a comic book reader, I'm sorry, you're not going to notice them. Right. I mean, you got Spider-Boy right now. No one expected Spider-Boy to last, but he's sticking around.
Yeah, I've heard Spider-Boy is doing pretty good.
I'm not talking about like you being a background character. Like there's tons of thriving background characters that get limited series and they get canceled and they get limited series, get canceled. I'm talking about you get a book and you're going to keep going until the universe resets and then we start you again at number 1. That does not happen for new characters unless you are a legacy character, which means you have to be an offshoot of somebody else like Miles Morales or Jon Stewart or whatever. But if you're a brand new character like Sideways.
Yeah, I actually like Sideways. But
me too. He's gone.
Yeah. I like the fire dude that was part of that rebrand.
Yeah, the Hulk kind of
So to answer this,
you're talking about Marvel now. I barely know anything about
Marvel. No, that's DC.
Marvel is the demon, and I just
Sideways is DC.
Yeah.
I know Sideways.
Yeah. So do you think it's hard to be innovative and productive in comics today? I'm going to be honest with you. I think that it is, and the reason why I think that it is because it's something that people don't talk about often. There's only so many power sets that you can have. Like there's only so many electricity people, so many fire people, so many fast people. Like what are you supposed to do that has not been done other than make the human, the person interesting? But as far as power sets, we've seen it all. Like that's why it's so hard.
They're running out of insects.
There's nothing. There was nothing new about Invincible besides for the violence in it.
That's a good point. Damn.
Yeah.
But it lasted over.
About the human part of it, you need to have
he's Superman and Spider-Man squashed together with violence. But the last thing before we move on is just like go to read Image Comics if you want innovation.
Image Comics.
Let's go to the next comment.
There's a few others out there actually. Like
Image,
they're coming with new stories.
Milestone is an excellent.
Milestone. Who are these people?
That's
IDW,
DC.
Valiant.
Yeah,
Valiant. Yeah, let's not.
We
forget
almost
about
got that
Valiant's
universe.
Trash.
until Vin Diesel
I'm out.
decided to
Hold on
start
now.
it. But continue. We're holding up DJ's flow.
Sorry,
It's not his
DJ.
show anymore. It's
Jay.
our show.
Jay says, I don't think Robbie is coming back as Harley. I do not think it was announced. It was not announced.
No.
But I think a lot of people are expecting it.
I just said I wouldn't be surprised
Robbie,
if
I wouldn't be
Robbie's
surprised.
already said that most likely she's not going to do it again.
I
And
kind of
that's
hope she
totally
doesn't.
fine.
Like
You
she's
got
gonna
Margot
turn it
Robbie
down.
doing it in the Elseworlds movie. That's totally
Lamar says that's cookie cutter ish to me, but it's whatever. Not sure what that one was referring to. It was a minute
that was
ago,
a
but-
while ago.
Dragon Movie Guy perfectly said, Zach, nepotism in James Gunn's casting, no bueno, supporting characters okay, but it should be clean slate and hire the best actors, not Gunn's personal friends.
right.
He's got
That's,
some.
no, that's a really good point because when Martin Scorsese does a movie, he never hires the same actors.
Oh, that's not that's not
How
true.
many times
So-
is-
So Don, that's the Killers of the Flower Moon movie. That's a new Martin Scorsese, and guess who it's got?
Leo.
Oh,
It's
Leonardo
got Leo
DiCaprio
and De Niro.
Really?
and De Niro. Oh
Are you
my god,
serious?
that's crazy, right?
I don't think they've ever been in a Martin Scorsese.
No,
Martin,
not at all. Ray Liotta was
That's-
only in one Martin Scorsese movie. I mean,
Yeah.
Are y'all really comparing Nate Fillion to three of the best actors to do it? Let's not.
it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
no,
It's-
but-
Have
I'm
you
saying-
seen him in The Rookie? I loved him in The Rookie.
That is a
Michael B.
CBS
Jordan
TV
and
show.
Ryan
We are
Coogler,
not
they're one
comparing
movie
Leonardo DiCaprio
Ooh.
to The Rookie.
Leo started from TV.
Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
30 years ago, bro.
Yo, remember
Hey,
that?
How
it
long
was-
is-
Remember that one
Origins
movie
and
that
Origin,
Ryan
bro.
Coogler and Michael B.
It was
Jordan did
Growing
together?
Pains.
The only
Growing
one that they
Pains,
did?
for sure.
Yeah, right. Ryan
He
Coogler
said
never
growing
uses.
pains. Wow, that's wow.
Yeah.
But that's one thing for you to be a director. Another thing when you run a universe. It's come on. Let's
So when the studios
But this
never,
is one of the movies he is
the
actually
studios
directing.
never
I mean,
hire the same people, right? Movie studios, they don't continuously hire the same people.
Of course, but
What are
I'm
we?
they also
pretty
have
sure-
a whole bunch of new people.
I'm-
But
And everybody that they
Okay.
hire, they've never met before.
So,
Right. Yeah.
so is that why Disney only hires from the Disney Channel?
I mean, if you
How
if
many
you are
Disney things has
already
Tim Allen done?
talented in this talent pool? Far be it for me to I think this person's talented. They've done really well with our other projects. I wonder how they'll do with this project.
Well, that's why.
Far be it to
I
me.
think. That's why I think it's the directors that keep on hiring the same people. It's because I'm sorry, these actors, some of them, they're so caught up with their being famous that okay, I know this guy comes to work, and I don't have to bitch and complain. Sorry, DJ, to get him to
doing
work.
so well for 2 hours.
Okay.
No, I got you.
So-
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
We're talking. James Gunn's not just hiring friends; he's hiring people he feels like he can trust
Trust.
to fill some. of these
Except
roles.
his
But
wife.
that's
He
what he's
hires
looking
his
at.
wife because he has to.
She's
But
not a bad
she's
actress,
also-
though.
But she's
She's not
also
bad.
talented.
Oh no, she's
Yeah,
a great actress.
She's talented.
But you
You're
know,
such a great actress. You're not
Yeah.
allowed to work with your husband. Like, let's talk about where we're
It-
actually
it is-
saying out loud.
It is a little. It's hard to have an opinion on that.
well,
If
nepotism
my wife is
only
good at her
works,
job,
you know,
I'm hiring her.
Okay.
all right.
All right. Moving
Go
on.
with the
Mama
comments.
Minutes. Hey, Mama Minutes joined the stream.
Hey,
I bet
Mama
she's gone by
Minutes.
now.
Her opinion doesn't matter.
This was an
Yeah.
hour ago.
Oh, no.
We're an hour behind
She's
on the
still,
comments.
she's still here.
She
She's still
said
here.
Viola Davis is awesome. And then she said John Cena is good, but Peacemaker's silly character don't seem to fit in the
I think
types
badass.
of heroes.
Bad ace.
Okay. She said, but I liked Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lamar says it's a shame there are no guardians or council for QC quality control when using characters in the movies universes.
Well, isn't
I
that
don't know.
Gunn?
That's not the case.
Isn't that Gunn? Isn't he the Feige of that universe? Isn't he
Yeah.
the end all be all?
Him and
Yeah.
Peter Safran.
Him
made up
and
Safran,
Safran,
DC
that's right.
Bible.
We keep mentioning Gunn, but we got to put Safran in because they are
Safran.
supposed
Safran
to
Safran
be.
also
smartly is
Safran's
sitting in the
gonna
back and
be
let James
the-
Gunn take all the heat.
Yeah. Also,
That's
let's
what
not
he's
Safran-
doing.
How do we know that that's not the
He's
case?
eerily quiet. Yeah.
Saffron's
Because-
just going to be the money guy. He's going to be making sure. Okay, wait a minute, James, you're going to do this? Really? We don't have the budget for that. So stop doing
Yeah.
that crap.
Right.
Yeah.
Typically, your producers
that
don't
could be
speak.
true. Yeah. Jay says all directors work with the same actors. The hate is real with James Gunn.
Good job, Jay.
Boo.
Mom
That
Minute
was
says
trash.
House of L always has the best comics.
Yeah, shameless plug for the family. I love it.
Mom
No, it's
Minutes
true.
DJ made an
True.
entire book of cheat sheets. It looked like what? What are you talking about?
Yo,
My notes?
Mama Minutes
I'm
be
allowed to
coming for
have
you
notes?
next, son.
I'm allowed
Mama
to have
Minutes always
notes.
comes for DJ.
Man. Mom Minutes, you advertise Plastic Man. Is there a new Plastic Man show? We're going to talk about Plastic Man here in a minute. I think.
Hey, Derp.
Derpy, thanks for joining the stream.
What's up,
Hey,
Derpy?
Derp.
Oh, I did like that. Says, and yes, that is David Cornsweet fan art. It's my profile picture. Awesome. Love it.
That's
I love
awesome. I
David
think he's a good
Cornsweet. I've only
casting.
seen him in a couple things, but
Yeah.
really liked him in what's the sequel to X? Pearl. Really loved
Pearl.
David Cornsweet in Pearl. He was really good in that.
I still haven't seen his acting. So
He's got a very Clark Kentness about him.
Yeah,
Mm.
especially in that movie.
Mhm.
And
He-
I
he needs
I
to
watched a little bit of
bulk
that show. I liked him in that. Well, he was a little more bulky in the show he did with John Bernthal on was it Max, where he was
We
a
Own the
cop.
City. Great
Yeah.
show.
I wanted to watch that.
It's worth it.
All right. Jay says, I expect Wonder Woman will get a movie and it just hasn't been announced yet. Remember, we are missing more than half of Gods and Monsters. That's true. He did say it's only half of the.
I don't think she's going to get a movie. I don't
Uh,
think she's going to get one.
I think that the universe would be outraged if she didn't get him. If every other male
Yeah.
DC character got a movie except for her,
Yeah.
There
No,
was
I
blood in
think
the
I
street.
think she's
I
going to
didn't
be
even think about that.
introduced. I think she's going to be introduced at the end of the first season.
of Themyscira.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Oh, I mean, I think that will lead into her getting a movie.
Yeah, but I don't think she's going to get one for the first section.
Right,
I
Oh,
think
right,
she's going
right.
to get one in
That's
the
fine.
second section.
Yeah.
Also, I think I just want to say real quick the one thing of like the shows getting hurt. I think the MCU shows might hurt the DC shows.
Maybe.
The fact that a lot of
Why?
people feel
They
like it's
haven't had a
homework.
decent. They haven't had a decent
That's-
MCU show yet.
But
Well, I'm not even going to get into that, but I think the fact that
the response
momentum
to
of
the shows,
show-
though.
Yeah, I think the momentum of those shows is going to hurt because a lot of people don't know and Marvel, DC. My mom asked me all the time, "What
Right.
universe is this one in?" She don't know.
Yeah.
General audience is going to be like, "These shows felt like homework," and I feel like this is going to probably feel like homework too. Like, why are
Yeah.
you making me have to watch these shows to understand these movies? It's still going to be people like that. So if you
Yeah.
introduce
Yeah.
Wonder Woman in that film and that show, I think a lot of people are not going to see it.
I'll wait to share my thoughts during the
The
Okay.
future.
yeah.
Derpy Entertainment says, I think at this point, though, how old WB was and who James Gunn learned under Feige, I think at this point, all DC fans across all things, we deserve better, and fans need to be optimistic at this point. I don't think fans need to be anything, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic.
am choosing to be optimistic.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think people really need to understand this. It's just entertainment. It
Yeah.
could be good. It could be bad.
It's my life.
I hope
That's how
not.
some feel about it.
Eat, breathe. No, I'm joking.
I have not seen a Superman movie I can be truly proud of since the 80s, and I'm really disappointed. And I keep on hoping that I get a Superman movie. So
Mhm.
yeah,
We'll find out soon.
yeah.
It's coming. Jay said Eddie as Mr. Terrific was perfect casting, in my opinion. And says Mr. Terrific will likely be the 7th. That's an interesting way
No.
to
I'm
do that.
not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
And then says LOL. Mama Minute says, well, I watched Peacemaker and didn't know it was Cena.
That's great acting.
No,
Good
she just
steal.
saw him in
Not
his
know-
underwear, and she couldn't get her eyes off of it.
Hey, I have that Funko Pop somewhere over here, him in his underwear. That's great pop. Mama Minutes, I don't like the animated ones. I prefer live shows. I know a lot of people that way. Even if the animated shows are great, they're just not going to watch animations.
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is why I argue with my brother all the time about that Ahsoka series with the Rebel stuff. All right. Jay says, how old is Guy in the comics?
And then he answered it.
And then he
38.
answered 38. Okay. The movie tubers. Wait. Oh, hi. Somebody answered that from here.
Hey.
Cool. Mama Minute said, I like Black Adam. And I love The Rock, so it's fine to me. I'll watch part 2 and 3 also. I don't think you're going to get that.
Yeah, you're
Nah.
No.
That's
never
one
gonna see
for.
that, Mama.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, DJ. I'm watching tonight because it was a group thing and also because Donna was joining in. Okay.
Oh my goodness. 1 minute. Did you watch DJ's
Why are you gonna
interview?
ask? Why are you gonna ask, Ken? You know.
You know
the
she did it.
answer.
No, because
She did come in for a minute Sunday night.
no, I'm saying it's clipped out specifically for your meet the
Oh.
Booties.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
Movie
right,
Tubers.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she did. I'm sure she watched that one.
Well, I sent that link to her and she said she was going to watch it later, so I'll bet you she did. Face purple crying, face purple crying, face purple crying. I'm sure that's supposed to be emojis.
Yeah.
Yes.
It comes out weird on StreamYards
I
for
know.
whatever reason.
Lamar says, okay. And I agree. I don't watch everything superhero, and I get confused when I watch a movie. DJ has to tell me if I know anything before I choose to watch one.
Sound like my
That
mom.
happens.
Mhm.
Yep. It's like, have I watched the things I need to know before this? Yeah. All right, cool. So we are caught up on comments. So we're gonna go ahead and get to one of our main topics, even though we've lost a lot of our viewers tonight already, it seems like. That's okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Well, it's
We've
getting
lost-
late too, so
yeah, it is. It is. So we'll get into this, and that'll just mean our comments will slow down a little bit. So, all right. So our top picks, who we want, and this is just each one of y'all hopefully have a few characters that you want to talk about that you'd really like to see. I don't have a limit to it or anything. Just don't go overboard because we've already gone 2 hours tonight. Give us a few characters you want to see in the DCU, who you'd like to see James Gunn bring in, why you want those characters in, what they mean to you, that kind of thing. And I'm going to start out with Jonah's top picks, even though Jonah's not here. He's on the banner. And I will say he wanted us to make sure we bring up Sinestro. I wish I knew his thoughts for this. I would have loved for him to have typed this out and let us know so we could read it off and hear what his thoughts on this were. But I will say I thought Sinestro it was disappointing that we didn't get true Sinestro in that old Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie that I know a lot of people don't like to talk about. But
I
did
actually
think
enjoyed that
I thought
movie.
it was the best
Besides
part
for
of it. Did
the
you?
animated outfit, besides for the
Yeah.
green outfit, I liked the
yeah, the
movie.
CG was a little weird. But I love the character of Sinestro, like going all the way back to, and I'm going to bring up Super Friends again later today, but going back to Super Friends, like that's one of my favorite villains that was in that series. So love me some Sinestro. You guys got any thoughts on Jonah's pick there? That's the only one he gave me. So
I'm a big. Oh, there we go. Big Sinestro fan. The Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern. He is amazing in that, and I would love to see him. I actually thought that he was the only good part of that Green Lantern movie, and especially like the post-credit scene where he just turns for some odd reason into a Yellow Lantern. They didn't really explain it. He was like, you know what? Sick of it. Yellow Lantern. But at the same time, he looked really cool doing it. So I actually really enjoyed that. So I would definitely like to see Sinestro go. And you should probably have somebody's arch villain Flash movie in their movie.
Yeah, that would be a
Good
good one.
points.
Yeah.
All right. Any more thoughts on Sinestro from anybody?
I think he's
I think
essential to this universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to have him. Now, are you going to be able to do much with him? No. But you have to have him in the Green Lantern mythos.
Yes, he has Loki potential. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. That's fair. All right. Well, let's move on over to Kenny's top picks.
Oh no,
So
I'm
we're
black.
here first.
Okay. So I didn't know
next in the line here.
I didn't know we were supposed to have multiple. So
No, that's fine if you just got the one. That's fine, and then we'll just talk about other characters as we go. That's
okay. I'm gonna look around. So my pick, honestly, I don't know if or how it even fits into the James Gunn situation, but Batman Beyond has so much potential to be a fantastic movie trilogy. It's set in a world where you can essentially do whatever you want, right? You have so many different like aesthetics and different things like that. Set in the future, so you can pretty much play around with that. And then you can cast an older Bruce Wayne. You can even cast Michael Keaton as an older Bruce Wayne. Although I would like for them to get away from the fan kind of thought process there. However, let's talk about Batman Beyond a little bit. Terry McGinnis is a great character, even as a human. He has an amazing. I want to get on a tangent, but I'm gonna just say this, and it's going to be said. He does what I wish that they would have done with a Miles Morales, which is he has his own rogues gallery that is amazing, right? And because he has his own rogues gallery, and that rogues gallery helps shape his character, it means everything he does is important instead of feeling secondary, right? So
I love Ink.
Ink is amazing. Ink is a great character. You have the Shriek. Shriek is awesome. The character that has, what I mean, the Sonic
Joker gang.
The Joker. That Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, underrated. But yeah, so he has so many different villains and characters and stuff like that I really villains and just like his whole world is already built out. You just have to fill it up with actors and a good story, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So and then you have Barbara Gordon as a commissioner and all this other stuff, right? So being that, I would definitely like to see Batman Beyond in an iteration in an iteration of the DCU. I think the one thing that kind of hurts that is exactly what hurts Batman Beyond in the comics a little bit, which is every time they make a decision for Batman's character in the present, it somehow, some way has to impact Batman Beyond in the future because he's also dealing with Bruce at the same time. So sometimes we're like, yo, if I do this here, right? So for example, Damian Wayne was essentially a new character, right? Grant Morrison created and so on and so on and so forth. Now in Batman Beyond comics, you have Damian as Ra's al Ghul in the future, right? So it's kind of like this thing where it's like every time you do something back here, it has to, or it seems like it has to impact something up here, right? So in the same way with the movie universe, if you do something with Batman back here, you're expected to address how that impacted Terry in the future. So I kind of feel like that is a lot to kind of juggle, because what if you just want to do something completely different with Terry that has nothing to do with that whatsoever? You could just not mention it, but we all know the way fans think. If something's happening over here, it's happening over here. Yeah, so
since he's doing the Batman movie, I think he would also have to do Batman Beyond, so it's easier for him to, because he already knows his own plans, so he can plan it out ahead of time.
Well, no, Batman can always be Batman Beyond can always be an Elseworlds movie.
That's true.
You don't have to.
Let's not do that. We already got the Batman, and then we're gonna have Batman Brave and the Bold, and then we're gonna have Batman Beyond. It's too much.
I don't think so.
No. But what? Because it's a future iteration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be able to match everything with what's going on with. You can have it part of the shiny guy vampire Batman. You can have it part of that one. I can't think of the guy's name.
Robert
Pattinson.
Yeah. I don't.
Man.
You could. I don't think Matt Reeves will allow you to touch his Batman with a 10-foot pole.
But what I'm saying is you could age him up, and you could actually bring that guy over. I mean, but it could always be Elseworld, because you're going to have to. Batman Beyond is going to have to be Elseworld no matter what, because it's in the future.
Yeah.
Well, that means Booster Gold would have to be Elseworld because he's in the future. It's possible.
Booster Gold is not.
Booster comes back.
He comes back to the present.
Yeah, his whole thing is back.
But they have to show his present for it to make sense.
They don't. They never bring up his present ever again.
That's not
Well,
true.
I agree. If you're going to tell a Booster Gold story, you have to talk about where he came from. That's the whole thing. He's
Yeah.
from the future. It comes into the
Yeah, and Back to the Future, we spend like
Back to the
2
Future.
seconds in the present, and then we head back. But that's to say that it's important, but it's not that important. But so with that being said, yeah, I think that I'm looking around at other DC stuff just to see if I could. Red Hood. I love to see Red Hood.
They've already said that Red Hood's going to be in there.
Okay, so
Oh,
Red
who
Hood is
did?
going to be in there.
The whole Bat family is going to be in the.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some Bat Family
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah, I got you.
How about an
Yeah,
Elseworld?
I want to see some Jason Todd.
Deceased.
Yes.
Deceased was fun. Zombie
think they're-
situation.
I think they need to bring in their animated shows again, and
Mm-hmm.
sort of
I
like
think that's a topic that we'll talk about later when he says he's talking about the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, Deceased is another one I see as an Elseworld. It's like, I don't know how that fits in with.
It'd be
what they're
so
doing.
cool for him to do it in the main universe.
Oh,
It would.
Well, they
That'd
just-
be tough to do.
they just
The Titans.
announced in the New York Comic Con that Elseworld's going to be a major imprint in the comics again. So
Comics,
I see that coming out as I think that's one reason they're doing it is because they're going to be doing all these new shows.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute for sure. Yeah, I think you're onto something there.
Mhm.
Ken, you got something else?
Old Lady Harley, huh?
Oh, what? I didn't know they had that.
Like
Go-
Old Man
let's skip
Logan.
him now.
This was not
What?
good. This was not good at all.
This
But,
is not good. He says.
let's skip him. He's wild.
Oh, wait.
She was
There-
in
there was
Batman
one person.
Beyond.
Nightwing. That's it. I'll just say Nightwing. I
She
would
was
love
in
to see Nightwing.
Nightwing.
With a solo movie doing his thing. Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Bloodhaven.
Okay.
Bloodhaven.
All right, let's move on to Jason. Jason, you got a pick or two or more?
Yeah, so I have one pick.
Okay.
Because everyone else picked great picks. So Constantine.
There you go.
I think we can see him back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a minute since his movies, and recently I hear Keanu Reeves saying if he was to play any other character, he would play Constantine again.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I think there's room for a Constantine, almost like the DC's Doctor Strange, a little bit more edgy, and he does have ties with like what was it, Justice League Dark he was a part of.
Mhm.
He had a romantic relationship with Zatanna on and off.
With everybody.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Constantine's
Yeah,
had sex with everyone.
You know,
Even a shark.
he gets around.
Round.
But I just like his character just because of the grittiness of it. How it's gonna fit in the new DCU, I'm not sure, but I do like the grittiness of that character and the magic. So if anyone to bring the magic, I think it would be him.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, Keanu Reeves
Funny
and his character.
that you say that. Like before James
Keanu
Gunn took over, they
Reeves,
announced a new Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves.
Wait, say
I
again?
Before James Gunn took over, they announced a new Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't know if that's.
I don't think that's still. I don't think that's still happening.
Okay. Oh, wow, that would be amazing, actually.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like the first one, so I don't really want to see it again.
Constantine has to be British. You have to have a British Constantine.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
just
just
don't
my
think that
opinion.
Keanu Constantine fit the comic Constantine. So now
No.
it don't have to follow the
Right.
comics exactly, but I feel like there's just certain parts of
You gotta have the spirit.
the character of
Right.
the spirit of Constantine that just didn't quite. I mean, unless they just do unless
With
Keanu does a
Keanu,
complete
yeah.
overhaul on how he plays the character, that kind of thing.
You mean
Keanu
like change the way
was
he acts in every
close,
movie?
Yeah,
Keanu
he's an actor.
Keanu could have been, but
So-
Keanu can't get that British accent down.
Irving from the
I
boys.
can't get any accent down.
Carl Urban is Constantine.
I think I can see him as a Constantine.
Who?
Carl Urban.
Carl Irving. from the boys.
He
Which
was in
one?
Dread.
The
He was
main
in
the main
Thor,
dude, Butcher.
Ragnarok.
Oh,
Butcher.
He played.
Butcher. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would make a good Constantine. Yeah.
I
Well,
see it in my
is he
head.
gonna bleach his hair blonde? Because Constantine with dark
He
hair is
doesn't
weird.
Well,
seem
the
He's
hair
like a
color.
dirty blonde.
he doesn't
the
seem
hair
against
color-
doing anything with his physical frame to fit a role.
But he did
Yeah.
shave his head for Ragnarok.
Right. Yeah, he did.
That's
I
true.
forgot about that. Yeah.
What if we
Alright.
got crazy?
But if they're gonna
What's
bring in
kid got now over there?
Constantine, if they
Oh,
bring
that's a
in
great comment.
Constantine,
Yeah.
they have to bring in Zantana. I'm missing Zantana. I
For
want
sure.
Zantana so badly.
Zantana.
Well, the
that's
thing is
another one.
that James Abrams is that how you say his name? Who's the guy that did the Star Wars
J.J.
movie, Star
Abrams?
Trek movie?
J.J.
J.J.
Abrams.
Abrams.
James
Yeah.
Abrams been fired.
He was
The remix
developing all the
director?
Justice League Dark stuff, and all
He's
that
been
stuff started
fired.
getting written. I understand, but they spent money on that stuff, so I could see like the Green Lantern
Yeah.
show was being made before James Gunn took over, and he has
Mhm.
to do it now because they spent so much money.
I think
I
they
wonder
changed
if
quite a
the
bit of it up,
Zatanna
but-
show, the Raven show, or movie, and the Dark Justice
Well,
League
they
Dark
did-
stuff
they-
that they already developed will carry over.
They didn't do Batgirl, and that movie was done.
Yeah.
So just
That's
because they
different.
spent
They
money
wanted
on
the tax write off.
just because they spent money on
Money.
it doesn't mean that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a different
that's
situation
true.
though.
That's true. Well, we'll wait and see how some of that pans out. Donovan, since we're
Yeah.
talking, Jason, do you have anything else to say before move on?
No, that was my 2 cents.
Okay. Well, Don, carried away. I know you've got a couple of them here you want to talk about.
Yeah, I got a few. I want to see Jonah Hex. I want to see.
Ooh.
I
Thank you.
want
That
to
was
see
one of my picks,
Plastic
too.
Man. I want to see. Let's see. I want to see some. I want to see the Spirit. I want to see.
Oh, he's going weird.
Ooh.
Mhm.
I want to see. The guy that was cursed to walk the world.
Demon?
Well, I want to see Etrigan too.
Etrigan.
Etrigan.
Oh, yes.
Etrigan would be great.
But no, the guy that wears the trench coat,
Spectre?
Spectre. Yes, I want to see No, that's
No.
I would have
Okay.
never guessed Spectre from a trench coat.
Solomon Grundy, Born in the
No,
Money?
no, just like
Spectre. Spectre. Yes. Basically, I want to see a detective show with this guy. And
question.
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 He was on my list. Yeah, the question.
yeah, the question. They do like a unsolved mysteries with him. It would be awesome.
I agree.
Unsolved Mysteries in the DC universe would be fire.
Exactly. And they could bring in so many. The Detective Monkey, Detective Chimp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could have guest stars. It would be a great show. And with every episode, he ends with a, and that's why bubblegum can make a nuclear warhead or something along those lines.
What?
Well, that's what the question is. I mean, he goes in there and he goes, I don't like regular water because they are trying to mutate you through fluorine and just all kinds of stupid stuff. And he explains how they're doing it, and you're like, really? And then
you go start some new conspiracy theories out here with doing this show the way you're talking.
Definitely.
But I mean, then you got his protege. I love her too. And no, the Spectre. I can't think of his name. He wears he wears a trench coat. He was originally supposed to be the guy that put Jesus on the cross.
You're losing me.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Yeah,
I don't even know what you're
I'm
talking about.
I
Not
know.
Vandal Savage, are you talking about?
Judas?
Yeah, he was Judas, and he got
Pontius?
cursed. He got cursed to walk the world forever.
Vandal Savage. It's gotta be
Vandal.
Vandal Savage.
No, that's not Randall Savage. Randall Savage,
No,
I want to see
Vandal.
him.
Vandal.
Vandal Savage was got caught by a meteorite.
Okay,
But
so it's a different person.
Mhm.
Okay.
it's like the Spectre, but Spectre is dang it. I know the guy. Phantom Stranger.
Oh,
Okay.
That's the guy. But him, I want to see all the obscure Golden Age, Silver Age, dark mystery guys. You don't ever see
Okay.
those. They don't bring them in. And I want to see a lot more of the Justice League Dark aspect. And I think they're going to bring in Constantine through the Swamp Thing. But
they could do
okay,
That'd
that.
be
I'm
cool.
done with my route.
Okay. Some good picks. Like some of what you said there. Zach, we'll go on to you.
So my mission statement on my list is that I'm rooting for everyone black. So Static obviously being my top choice, as you put it in the thumbnail.
sir.
Static has the potential to be DC's Spider-Man, and they're sleeping on that.
Mhm.
Teenager, fun, juggles all the problems, unique powers. He's fly as hell, so he will be the nerd that's cool, unlike Peter
Yep.
Parker, who's just a nerd. And he has a hell of a rogues gallery that has
Yes, he
potential to
does.
be top 5 if someone takes it and does it right. He just has potential to be one of the best superheroes ever that could grow
Mhm.
into a Justice League member. And you just start him young, and you could build out his universe. You could start getting all the milestone characters out of him, and that's where we
Mhm.
can start getting these great Icon, Rocket, all these other characters. Outside of that, I would love to see Steel later on
Ooh,
after Superman is
yes.
popular and he's inspiring
Yes,
people. We start seeing Steel. We start seeing the
Mhm.
Asian Superman. We start seeing all these other side characters that are part of his family. And Steel is such an important character for the death of Superman. I would love that. I would
Mhm.
I
love to
want to
see
see his niece.
Firestorm. Yeah, I would love to see his niece. That would also be really dope. I would love to see Firestorm. I think that's a character
Hey,
that can change the
had that
game
on
if
my
they do
list
it
too.
correctly. Nice.
The black or the white one?
The black. I just said I'm rooting for everybody black.
Amen.
Oh,
Amen.
well, see, I want the other 5-star.
He could go die.
Oh,
Vixen has Black
so much
Panther
nostalgia.
potential.
Vixen.
She has a lot of potential
Yes,
to be
Vixen.
that kind of character. And I think Bronze Tiger
Plus-
is a character that's could be really, really fun as a villain. That just keeps
Plus, you can
reoccurring.
do the
I would add that character to Batman Beyond universe that you're
Yeah.
putting up.
Lantern Joe.
Yeah, should be
Well-
make her the lantern for his movie, his universe. That's all.
Yep.
That'd be-
well with the Vixen, you could have her being John Stewart's love interest.
Yeah, but I don't want to belittle her to just being a love interest. I want her to stand her own and
Oh no,
and just do her thing.
I'm just saying you could have that in the wider universe as a connection.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, and Black Canary. I know she's not black, but I love her and Green
It's in the
Arrow.
name.
And well, yeah, they did it in the Harley Quinn thing. I was like, really, that was really on the nose. But I actually ended up loving the actress. But that's beside the point. Black Canary, Green Arrow. Give me all the vigilantes. DC is a vigilante town. Give me them all. Give me all these weird named cities like Bloodhaven and Oscar Isaac City or whatever the hell they call it. Because I want to just one thing that Marvel doesn't have that DC has, just diving into the world and it feeling different from ours.
Yeah.
We don't have Metropolis, we don't have Gotham, we don't have Central City, we don't have Star City, we don't have Bloodhaven, but there's like similar things there that's like, oh, reminds me of Chicago, but it's not.
Yeah.
When you do those things, you can do wild stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can do more with made up cities for sure.
Yep.
When they put Philly in the Shazam movies, I was just like, that there is no suburb next to that train station whatsoever. Nor is there Florida.
Well, that was because it was originally a Fawcett comic, and they used Philadelphia in the Fawcett comics,
Mhm.
and
I
that's
didn't-
the
I
only
didn't know that.
reason.
Yeah.
Is because DC acquired Shazam.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Captain
Yeah,
Marvel.
he's-
It's the same.
Racism.
It's the same thing with Blue Beetle. That's why it was, because they're part of a different. They're Charlton Comics. They
Mhm.
Yeah.
weren't originally DC.
yeah, a lot of the characters they didn't create.
Hmm
Mm, mm, mm.
All right. Is that all yours, Zach?
Yep, that's all mine.
All right.
But
I'm gonna move on
Milestone
to my pick.
Universe is definitely one that has been long neglected that needs to be done.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and when you mentioned Static's Rogues Gallery, you
Mhm.
weren't lying, man. Ebon, Rubber
Mhm.
Band Man,
Mhm.
Hot Streak, dude.
Mhm.
Hot
All of
streak. Wow.
It's up there with, because I think the characters that have the best Rose Gallery is Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Flash. And then outside of that, it starts getting a little murky, but I think Static can get up there if used correctly.
Absolutely.
Hmm
Got a beat, got a beat superhero.
So most of mine have already been covered. Of course, my Firestorm is a different Firestorm, just because that's the Firestorm I grew up with. And I'm telling you, a lot of my stuff, well, not necessarily here, but a lot of my hopes are characters that were in Super Friends, because I'm not old enough for it, but that's what I grew up watching.
Mhm.
I'm
Dad
sorry
had all
about
of them.
that.
Yeah, between you and then Dad having them all on VHS, like that was like recorded. Like that's what I grew up watching was Super Friends. So the version of Firestorm that was in that was my Spider-Man, because he was the kid with the other adult superheroes,
Right.
at that time.
Mhm.
So that's why that Firestorm always resonated with me, just because that's what I grew up with that. But more than anything, and you said his name a minute ago, he's on the thumbnail for me. I'm wearing a shirt. I'm wearing the Green Arrow hat. I've got the figure here. I got the pop here. My very first tattoo I ever got, Green Arrow. I'm a huge
Oh,
Green
wow.
Arrow fan. That is my guy, my favorite superhero of all time, and that goes all the way back to, again, Super Friends. He was in one single episode in season 1. It was either episode 7 or 9. I can't remember now. Where there was a goofy episode. There was a doctor named Gulliver that shrunk the entire Justice League, and Marvin and Wendy had no one to help, so they went and they found Green Arrow, who was out in like the Amazon or some like rainforest area or something. They got him to come back and come help to rescue the entire Justice League. And to me, that was the coolest thing, to see a dude with a bow and arrow coming, saving all these superpowered guys. And from then on, I was a Green Arrow fan, and I have been all these years since. I loved his arc in Justice League Unlimited, the animated series. And I was a fan before he was popular in TV shows like Smallville and Arrow. So I feel like I'm justified in being a fan of him. So I want Green Arrow in live action movie, because I haven't seen that before. I want to see him alongside some of these Justice League characters on the big screen. That's just really what I want to see. So that's why my love for Green Arrow. I also had Jonah Hex on my list as well. Really want to see justice for that awful movie that they had for him several years back. I
Yes.
want to see
Yeah.
something better for him. I also had Red Hood on my list. And then to go into the Green Lantern lore, I really want to see Atrocitus on the big screen. I think it would be really cool to
Oh
see
yeah.
Lanterns
Yeah.
fighting Atrocitus, the Red Lanterns and stuff. I think that'd be a really cool character. And going into Rose Galleries, who I would love to see in the first Flash movie, if they do a Flash movie, I'm assuming they eventually will, is Mirror Master. I think he would work really well on screen. I think he'd be a cool dynamic of special effects and stuff in a movie or whatever. So that's my final character, is Mirror Master.
Mirror Master would be fantastic. Based off your picks, DJ, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
How far do you want to get into talking about like the big screen, like the Green Lantern lore of all the other colored lanterns? Do you think that it would get a little bit like, oh, we have every single color? Because I felt
Power
like
Rangers.
Yeah, Power.
Yeah.
I felt that way in the comics before I actually read the story, and then I read the stories, and I was like, "This is amazing." However,
Yeah.
like on screen, we have this yellow team and a green team and a sapphire team, and it was like, well,
Yeah.
like now the red team is dope, or the Red Lanterns, and the yellow lanterns are also dope. But once you get out to those sapphires and the Hope and the blue ones, it's like y'all need to be here. But yeah,
I
so
like the Blue Lantern. Don't do that.
Get
I
Kyle Rayner
like
coming in
them,
as a
but I'm
blue.
saying like you talk about oversaturation
Mhm.
Yeah.
of a concept.
Well,
It could do it.
Now
it
the
all
Black
depends on
Lanterns
how they
too,
do it.
'cause they're like zombies. But yeah,
It
So
all
it
depends
matters
on
about
how they do
execution.
it. Yeah,
Mhm.
because if they do it in a movie, it's not going to work. It's going to have to be like a 3-season TV show.
You think keep the lanterns to a television and then
Well,
maybe bring in one or two into a movie here and there?
Sounds too expensive for.
let me not refute, but discuss that with you, House of L. The reason why I don't think that'd be good to do in a TV show is the same reason I got sick and tired of the Flash TV show, because every villain was a speedster. I'm like, dog, can we do something else? You know what I mean? Like it was Savitar, and it was Reverse Flash, and then it was
No,
Godspeed, and then it was like he
I
has to do something than run. Well, I mean he's Flash. He has to do something to run against someone else that's fast. Every season, I'm the fastest man in the world, but the new villain is faster than you, and you got to learn to be faster. It's like, dog, do something else. But yeah,
yeah,
except for that
but
one robot season that he had.
Jeff
robot-
Johns, and the Blackest Night and the Brightest Day storylines you can't do in a 2-hour movie. I don't think.
No, I'm not saying you do it in a 2-hour movie. I'm just saying doing it at all. Like, imagine if the Flash trilogy, right? Let's say the Flash gets a trilogy, and every single villain is a speedster. It's like we have other things to do here, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I mean. So when you say, "Oh, now it's a new ring," it's the yellow, and we're thinking about the general audience too. Now it's the sapphire one. It's like, okay, guys,
They're gonna be like, this is silly and cartoony.
yeah,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they're going to do it, they're going to have to bring in all the drama that caught all of us DC heads and
Mhm.
kept us attuned to it. Because I'm sorry, when they started coming up with it, I was like, "Oh my god, are you serious? Oh, really?"
Same.
And then I started reading it, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Also same.
give me more!"
Yeah,
And so, I mean,
All about the storytelling.
yeah,
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
I just worry about that translating to the big screen, because you need, because like you're
that's
saying,
why
it
I
took
I
so much
don't think
time.
they can get the story smashed down into a big screen. I think they have to expand it.
Mm,
Or it can be
Make
over a couple movies. It's not gonna. It doesn't have to be done in one movie. You can introduce
right.
one color here,
yeah,
two
I
colors
mean,
there, and then
you can literally have a show going simultaneous. I mean, you could have stuff going on in the show, and you can have some movies with some of these characters, and don't have to be the full big picture in the movies, and still have some of those characters showing up here and
but
there. And
I think Marvel proved that that's not possible.
I don't know if they proved it's not possible. I think that they proved that you need a showrunner and you have to do it well.
yeah,
You have to
Like,
have the showrunner working with
let's
the
say that
movies.
let's say that
Marvel
the
didn't have a
Netflix shows
showrunner.
let's say the Netflix shows were just integrated into the MCU. Like all the Disney Plus shows never happened, and they just said the Netflix shows are always a part of this, and then they continued, right? Although they got kind of bad towards the end, and then they continued. It'd be
Well,
like, oh yeah, it can absolutely work. You know what I mean? So it's
Agent
kind of like
Carter and
how you
that
do it.
other ABC show was a part of it.
Yeah.
But
Well, they
were
kind
they
of
part of it?
disbanded away from Agents of Shield, though. They don't claim it anymore.
Well, but
it's a damn
when
shame.
they were doing it, they were doing it. They
Yeah,
were
at the
part
start of
of
it
it,
for sure. Because
Right.
even when Winter
and
Soldier
it
came
just
out, it
didn't
happened
work.
with the Hydra and stuff in the show as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, it's not that Disney Plus proved that you can't do it. Is that they prove that you have to do it a certain way. You have to have showrunners. You have to have a story Bible. You have to have all
You need
these things.
people
You
talking back
have
and
to
forth.
make a television.
And I
on the
think
shelf.
that's what James Gunn's going to try to do. Whether he succeeds at it or not is a totally different story.
Yeah, it's to
Mhm.
be seen. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there any other characters that we haven't discussed that you guys have thought of that you want to bring up that might make good additions to James Gunn's DCU?
Well, we didn't bring up Plastic Man, even though he's in the picture. But
You
yeah,
you
Plastic
mentioned
Man
his name.
Well, Plastic Man is
But-
definitely one that I don't think they need to do Elongated Man. They have to do Plastic Man.
I prefer
Elongated
Plastic
Man
Man.
was just bad. I've never liked
Mm.
Elongated Man. But even though Plastic Man is still a bot character, he was an originally DC character. I think they have to do him. I mean, and believe it or not, I think they need to bring Ryan Reynolds to do Plastic Man.
Mm.
They need a
I kinda
Ryan
see
Reynolds
that.
top.
That's not bad, actually.
It don't have to
If
be
only
Ryan, but it
Jim
needs to be that
Carrey was
type of actor.
30 years younger.
Yeah.
So as far as like, so there is one character who I would like to see, which is Jonathan Kent, not the grand
Yeah.
the father,
I got you.
the son, from the
Mhm.
Rebirth comics, because I think
Yeah.
that the kid brought a new and fresh dynamic to Superman that has made him more interesting in recent comics until they
Yeah.
aged John up for
Whatever weird.
whatever reason. But yeah, until they aged him up. But he was such a great way to humanize Superman even more by having him having to be a father and navigate that, just like the show. The show that's dope right now. Like it's
Yeah.
a very good way, and I want to see our characters grow up
Mhm.
and grow in general. Even the brief little bit we got an Endgame of Tony Stark being a father was like, look at that character growth. You know what I mean? It's like it's different. It's a different dynamic. It added something. It added stakes to. I got to get back to my daughter. I got to make sure I don't change this thing. Right. I want to get these people back, but also don't want to change the fact that I have a daughter. Like I would
Yeah.
rather sacrifice all these people than to get rid of my. So that kind of thing invites a different dynamic. So I would like to see John Kent, but maybe not. Definitely not in the first movie. Maybe in movie 2 or movie 3. You know what I mean? That's I want Superman to be Superman, and then go hang out with Lois, and do things that adults do, and then have a youngling. You know what I mean?
I would love to if they took the Superman Lois route and did Jordan and Jonathan. I think that dynamic of having a kid that's like you and then having a kid that's like Bruce.
Mhm.
And like, how do I handle this?
Well-
and you're the one that got the powers? Oh crap.
Right.
Like I think
I
that
think
would be
that-
great.
I think that's what they were doing to Super Sons in
Mhm.
that
Mm.
without having Batman. I think that's
Yeah.
why they did both of them. I think what they need to do is just do the Super Sons in the
I'd love to see
in the
John and
movies.
Damian in a movie together. Or
We
two
are
maybe.
we are getting Damien, so that's very
Yeah.
possible.
So that would be cool. Honestly,
One of my favorite covers of all time.
I do think it's weird that we're
Yeah,
getting an
that's nice.
older Batman and a young Superman. I'm like, why
Yeah.
can't we just have all these heroes around the same age other than Wonder Woman? Because
Well,
Mm.
Batman has always been a few years older than Superman.
not all the time.
I will say on the John Kent thing, that was my favorite run of Future State was the John Kent stuff in that. Like I thought that was really
Mm.
well told in his storyline
I didn't-
through that.
I have all of it, and I've never read. I read some of the Fox Sons Batman, but I
I
haven't read any of the other stuff.
like
Do-
Yarrow
yeah.
Floor.
So
Oh,
wait,
yeah. Yeah, that was good
I
too.
hope they bring her over too.
this
Yeah,
is
that would be
John.
cool.
Yeah, Yarrow Floor was
Can't tell from
what I got.
Look,
There's
I
two different
really loved
Superman
that.
Future
Tiny.
State ones. One where Superman is like wearing a t-shirt, and then one with John.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there
think I
there
have
are.
one
Yeah, absolutely.
around
Because we
here
get some Clark stuff in Future State as well.
somewhere. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, that's cool. We're gonna go ahead and move on and do this, and then we'll take comments to end the stream. Where do we see the DCU going from here? And also, what do you guys want to see happen with this? Let's. Jason's not here. Let's start with you, Zach, since we had you the other time. And we'll see what you say on this.
Personally, I would love a universe that is tailored to the things that I like in terms of a very comic booky universe. They start with the 7, then we get all these weird characters strewn throughout. But even if they don't do that, hopefully just the 7 is present throughout the universe, even though we're starting with these weird characters, so that we know we're getting them eventually. I just think a DC universe without them is just weird. I just fear that, we talked about a lot of characters, but I fear like a lot of them are not going to happen because of redundancy in terms of power sets or personalities. We can't have too many comic reliefs. We can't have too many plastic bands. Not everything's going to translate. If we have a detective here, we might not be able to have another detective here. We might not be able to have another vigilante here. So some of the characters that we like if we have Batman, Green Arrow might not be able to coexist because they're so similar in terms of where they are in the universe. And then if you have to add Black Canary, you have the Question. These are all human level vigilantes. And even though we know they're all cool in different ways, the general audience might be like, yeah, no. Like when Hawkman debuted in the DC universe, people were like, we already have Falcon, even though this is a completely different universe. But it's just like a black guy with wings is too many already.
Wow.
So we already got two. And it was like, okay. And I that's all I worry about is like there's a lot of great characters in the DC universe, but they might have too many similar traits to them that we can't make this right now.
I think that's right, but League Unlimited showed them how they can do it, and if they go by off of those blueprints, I think they can get a lot more characters in.
Yeah, but we got to worry about general audiences didn't watch Justice League Unlimited. Us nerds did. Yeah. But animation doesn't always translate. What works in animation doesn't always translate to live action, basically.
And then you had episodical,
I understand.
You can mix and match, and yeah.
A big reason for that too is just the way that movies are made and how much money that would cost. And the reason, in terms of like when I say the way the movies are made, you got to think like with a Justice League series, you're getting 22 episodes back to back weeks. We get one movie every 3 to 4 months. So in that one movie, you got to establish something or something else. Now they are doing TV, which is I'm not going. So
why do you have to do 22 episodes?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's a level of consistency in building up these characters that you don't have with doing it in films.
No, I understand that, but the streaming universe has proven that you don't have to do 22 episodes. There's rarely any shows that do 22 episodes anymore.
That's not what I'm not focusing on the 22 episodes. I'm focusing on the time spent. Like you.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Because with the animated show, you had all those episodes to do that.
Yeah, I think there's a confusion in the conversation. He's saying that Justice League Unlimited had 22 episodes. He's not saying that these streaming shows coming up need 22 episodes.
No, yeah.
I understand. What I'm saying is in the 10 episodes or the 4 episodes or whatever, I think in a TV aspect, if done right, you can have a lot of characters without focusing on any certain character and have a great story. And I think that's what Justice League Unlimited did, but you're just going to have to, you don't have to do the 22 episodes. You can do it in less episodes, but you're going to have to do longer episodes.
So are you suggesting like an anthology series? Because I'd be open, more than open to that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to watch an anthology series where you get an episode that's essentially an introduction. That's something I think that since the MCU has told us that they haven't been using showrunners or making their TV shows into TV shows, which we kind of figured. My mindset on whether or not it can work has changed for sure, but. What I will say is that an anthology series could. I was saying all that to say that Marvel's special events or specials worked flawless to me. They worked flawlessly, whereas their series didn't work as well. But the special events worked because they were in and out. They told the story that they were trying to tell,
Yeah.
right? And it didn't take 6 weeks to do it. Now, I'm not saying that it's never worked because I enjoy the hell out of Loki, and I've enjoyed a lot of Marvel Disney Plus content, even with the complaints that I have. That was a DJ. You mind if I just go? Since,
No, go ahead. Go for it.
So my trepidation for the DCU going forward is those separation of concerns, and what I mean by that is, I've always been very big on keep all your characters on the big screen because you're doing you're asking your audience to do less work, right? So my father, who's 60 something, he probably isn't going to watch, whether it's good or not. He's probably not going to watch a bunch of Disney Plus shows, right? Just because he's not going to do that. However, during the Infinity Saga, he knew every character and everything because they were all in one central place. He only needed 2 hours to tell that story. And Vision was introduced in another movie, someone else's movie. So was Wanda, so was Black Panther, so was Spider-Man, so were all these other characters that came along and eventually either got their own movies or something else, or just stayed side characters. He knew everybody by the time it was over, whether or not they had their own show or whatever, because they were all placed somewhere where that was easily accessible. The movie theater. You have a 2-hour commitment versus an 8-hour commitment, or 6 to 8 hour commitment, I should say. Right. So with that, it's much easier for general audiences to follow along, especially when they're not being asked to follow something from week to week to week. And then there's another movie that you got to go see and then come back and see this. And then week to week to week to week. You know what I mean? And that, and my other trepidation with it is him saying, I don't know how this is going to work. And it could be heavy or it could be light in terms of, yeah, we're also going to do video games. Please, sir, relax.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Like, can we chill out? Now that all pertains to how important those things that happen in the video games are actually going to be to the movies. But I also kind of feel like just don't put that burden on yourself if you don't need to, right? So yeah, so that's kind of, and even like, so then you go one step further down, which I don't believe is down because I view animation and on the same level of every other storytelling because animation is dope. Then you go even further and make it out of reach with a animated show, right? So now you're going from movies to live action show, which some people are going to struggle with watching that in addition to movies, to an animated show, which people are definitely going to struggle with watching that in addition to movies. Oh, wait, the same actor voices that? Is also playing that? Oh, blah, 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 blah. We know that because we're on YouTube watching other like movie tubers do this all the time, right? It just we're nerds. We're into this. We watch this stuff. We're not confused by multiverses. Multiverses are a concept we've been seeing all of our lives, right? If we're in this kind of nerddom, you start doing that with the regular Joe, Sally, and May, right? Who are just like, I just bought a movie ticket. I want to watch this movie. I want to step into the theater. Let me just enjoy this 2-hour thing. Oh, it's coming back in like 6 months. Cool. I'll be back for it in 6 months. And I'll do like a little recap over here, right? That person ain't going to do all that homework, and at some point it can feel like homework, especially if you're someone like now I'm pointing it to us, especially if you're someone like us who wants to know everything and is kind of like a completionist in the sense like I'm going to watch everything MCU even if I don't like it, She-Hulk, just because I don't want to miss out on an important story beat that can impact something else. Right? Even though I'm like, I don't care about the show. I hope it gets better. I didn't like She-Hulk at all. However, it had nothing to do with all the reasons weird people don't like She-Hulk. Right? So, So with that being said, I don't think it's a good idea to separate concerns like that. Keep the main thing, keep all of your characters on the big screen, and there's never any confusion about who was who, where who came from, how they got here. They died when? Wait, let's see. He Who Remains is from where? Like he's Kang from who? What? Who? Victor Timely showed up where? What? And they're and they're in this movie now. Oh, I didn't know that they were connected. Let's avoid all of that, please. Even though I love Loki, like Loki's a dope show, but at the same time, I can see the barrier that it's putting in front of people. So yeah, I see the DCU having some challenges in the future with communicating to their audience where to get their information from. However, I hope everything's dope. So I'm hopeful. Like I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm saying I'm not. That's
I
it.
think we have two different visions of what the general audience actually does, though. I think the general audience is actually going away from the movie theaters, and I think the general audience is going more towards streaming. And I think we need to have an even medium between streaming and TV to be able to have a connected network. Or if we don't, we're going to be counting on these movies to bring in our DC universe, and then when they only do half of what we're expecting, and we've put all this money into it, then there goes the DC universe. But if we have a more even median and we don't put all of our eggs in one basket, then we can have a DC universe that lasts us 20 years. That's what I'm thinking. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that I think the danger in that is people sometimes, not people, but studios sometimes don't understand, just like Marvel just showed us, that different mediums require different things. The reason why
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
It's just
people expect different things from different mediums. That's the reason why comic books can't translate one to one with movies, because you literally can't do it. The way people talk in comic books and think bubble in comic books is like try to do that on the big screen if you want to. They
well,
try to
I think
do it
that's
on
why
anime
we're
with the Killing Joke, and it sounded horrible because you're reading something that's written dialogue as if it was meant for spoken dialogue. It doesn't work. Besides the weird Batgirl sex.
well,
Yeah,
I think that's why we're spending $400 million on a movie, $300 million on a movie,
mhm.
and I think that's
That's
I
rare.
think
Though. That's your end games in your Infinity Wars.
they did it with Miss Marvel, the new Miss Marvel movie. They
That's
did
a
it with
Miss
The
Marvel.
Marvels.
The Marvels.
the Marvels. Sorry, it's Marvel. Uh, they did it with Miss Marvel. They did $350 million or something like that on that movie. They It's rare nowadays for them
I
not to
showed
spend
274.
Yeah, it's
Is what I'm-
274. Yeah,
okay.
and essentially it's an event film because you have all those.
All right.
But
If
it's
you
that
say
plus
so.
marketing. I mean,
No, the marketing is not in that budget. The
I know. I
Right,
said it's
right.
that
No,
plus
so that
marketing
plus
is what I
marketing.
said.
Mhm.
but they're spending way too much on these movies, and that's where they're losing their butts. They're spending all this money thinking that the general public after COVID is going to come in droves to these movies, and this last year has proven that the general audience won't come out for every movie like they used to.
I agree with
Hmm.
that.
So
100%.
we're gonna have to cut down these budgets. We're gonna have to figure out how we can make a event
That's
style
across the
movie
board.
Yeah,
across the board on every
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make an event style movie that people want to go see with $100 million budget instead of a $200 million budget.
when you look at the creator and how good that looked for $80 million, it's kind of crazy how some other things don't look as good for much more money. At the same time, you also got to think about the talent involved. John David Washington is amazing. He don't cost nearly as much as Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. at this point.
Mhm.
So that's a
Yeah.
big reason why these budgets for movies aren't like
We
Oscar
need to
award winning. What is her name?
we need to get away from digital effects.
Brie
I
Larson,
mean,
Oscar award winner. The price is going up. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
well, Brie Larson's not worth the money that. Never mind. I'm not going to
That's
get into
not
that.
true.
I'm not
She's a
going to
great
get into
actress.
that.
Mm.
I can't stand that woman. I can't stand that woman. No.
All right,
But
we'll move on from that.
but they're spending way too much on digital effects. We need to get back to the guerrilla style movie making and spending less and working on the story, and that way if a movie doesn't bring in $800 million, we're still making a profit and we can still make a second one.
I don't agree. I don't
That's
agree with
close.
that.
I think what this year has shown is that you have to make your movie feel like I have to see it in the theaters. It's not about budgets. It's not about guerrilla style. It's not about low or higher. Yes, The Creator, a movie that I thought was great, had an $8 million budget, but no one went to go see it.
Yeah.
Barbie was not an event style movie, but
Barbenheimer was though.
Whoa, yeah.
But
Oppenheimer was an event.
I didn't even like Barbie, but I know that's not true.
And it was an event. There's so many young women
saw Barbie too, but
wanted to see that movie. It was an event.
Yeah,
for them.
but it wasn't an event movie. It was, oh, I heard it's really good, and let's go see it. And I just went and watched
people
it. Let's go
went to go see the movie before other people went to see it. Like they were gonna watch Barbie no matter what.
Yeah.
General audiences don't watch or read reviews.
I can't remember the last. Yeah, I can't remember the last movie where people all got dressed up in one color in unison to go see it.
I can remember the reason why that movie made a bill.
Recently?
Not recently, but
that's what I mean.
Rocky Horror Picture Show still brings out.
That man's
1970s
show.
He triggered.
Every year.
From 75?
Yes.
It still comes out.
It's still
every year.
They do releases and people do dress
up and come out.
But we're talking about a cult classic / like that has a following over
decades,
4 or 5 decades now.
Original.
Yeah,
well, I'm just saying that they've been several Barbie movies that have not been event films.
But this was the event one. You talking about those animated trash ones that no effort was put into?
If I remember right, there was another Barbie movie a few years ago.
No, there wasn't a live action Barbie movie. There were other movies about dolls that were. There was one that came out in the 90s. I remember going to see, but it wasn't Barbie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there was nothing really, really special about Barbie, but everyone was talking about it.
I thought
I think that's what was special about it. The people assigned the speciality to something.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But Barbie
it was also greatly marketed.
It wasn't.
It wasn't marketed.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was, and they did it right alongside the
Barbie's marketing
stuff.
Was
they had
insane.
co-marketing with Oppenheimer. I mean, they really went out and did a lot of stuff.
I did not hear anything about Barbie until the week that it came out.
So here's the thing.
What?
I don't know where you were.
I don't know where you were. I did not.
It was nonstop for like 2 months every day.
Here's the thing.
No,
here's what I really wanted to.
I didn't see a commercial for Barbie until the weekend before, and then all of a sudden I heard.
Yeah,
I don't know where you were then.
Special.
Here's what I want us to focus on when it comes to this type of discussion. Yeah. Our corners of the internet and the universe are not the internet in the universe. Right? No. So due to that fact, what we don't experience here, it has nothing to do with what's going on in places where that thing is happening. Right. So it could be totally true that the way that your social media and everything is set up and has been cultivated, that you didn't see anything with Barbie. That, however, there's $1 billion worth of people who did and went up and dressed up in pink. I dress up in pink.
Oh no,
I did too.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is that there's certain movies that every year are going to get this. And that's what the studios aren't realizing. 3 years ago, 2 years, well, not 2 years ago, but 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, they barely had to put anything into the marketing. If they had a decent actor in it, people showed up. That's not happening anymore.
I think that's more
Oh.
than 3 or 4 years ago. It's been a while since an actor has consistently sold a movie.
Don't forget about Tom Cruise, y'all.
That's what
He's
I'm
the only
saying.
one.
Tom
Yeah.
Cruise is the only one that made Top Gun. Top
Right,
Gun.
but it used to
I
be
went
Tom
and saw.
Cruise and Arnold
I
and
well, I
Sylvester
went and saw
and
Top
Bruce
Gun,
Willis.
and it wasn't that. It wasn't like super great, but
hmm
That's
it made
subjective, though.
it,
Yeah, that's
it
There's
subjective.
made
people
it.
who
that's
love that
subjective.
movie, think it's the best of all time. It's
There
just
are a lot
subjective.
of them.
But it
Mhm.
made a crap load of money because Tom Cruise was in it, and it was a well beloved sequel.
Mm.
Yeah,
But
it's a good movie.
It
I enjoyed
also
it.
had
Yeah.
legs because of word of mouth. That movie went a
Right.
long
Mhm.
time at the top of the box office.
Yep.
hmm
yeah,
Yep.
but you're not going to get that every day, and the
No.
studios have to realize that we have to start actually putting time and effort into these movies, and that hasn't been happening for several years.
I think this year is a combination of people things going to PVOD fast. I think people are purposely like, I'm not gonna go see this movie so it could fail, so I could watch it at home.
Yep, and
I
that's been
think
happening too.
also, and I also think from March to the end of August, they had too many blockbusters back to back. They started galvanizing each other and eating each other up.
Mhm.
Like we had Indiana
It's-
Jones, and then right after that was Mission Impossible, and then right after that was Barbenheimer. Way too much in a
And a
short
lot of
span
these were
time.
delayed movies that have been pushed back to now. And
But
now
they
we're getting
don't have
stuck with them all
anything.
at once.
Like, what is coming out
Yeah.
next week?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's
Nothing.
not to mention Barbie, Beast Wars, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Flash,
Yes, Mario,
Mario,
all these horror movies that were
the
coming out
ones
all
that you
year.
just mentioned, Ninja Turtles, Blue Beetle. Like it was just like one after the other, after the other,
There's
after
a
the
lot.
other,
And
and that has nothing to
and-
do with the quality of those movies, but it has everything to do with the spread out
how much money you can spend.
of movies. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like yeah,
People
like
gonna pick
not
and choose.
everybody is.
I think a lot of that is they
Yeah.
thought they knew about the strikes coming up too, so they were trying to push everything out as fast as they could
It
before
would
the
have been
strikes
smarter
came
to
up.
spread it out
Yeah,
Oh, I
because
agree
now we
with
don't have
you.
no
Yeah.
content.
I think they were
Yeah.
worried. There was some worry, I'm sure, of not having actors to promote their movies, and that's why we've seen stuff like Dune 2 get pushed back because they don't want to try to release it
Craven
without
was
having
pushed
the
back
actors
a
to.
full year.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the bomb because it's going to be terrible. I don't want to. I hope that is great.
Yeah.
I really do. But I just
I don't see that movie doing any good.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Me neither. But I
Well,
like
He's a great
it.
actor.
guys, I'm gonna have to go. It's 11:30
well-
for me. So
We'll let you get going. Let me put you on the screen if you want to shout out. I know you don't do a whole lot of stuff on your channel often.
I have some stuff. I have some boxes coming in that I'll probably do unboxing from the Comets Curing Cancer, and that was a great event. You can still go and donate through that, and we've raised over $51,000 this year.
That's awesome.
So, and we're gonna do that again next year, hopefully. And yeah, just check me out on YouTube. I have like 5 people that follow me. Maybe we can get a few more. So
All right, yeah, and his link for his channel is in the description of this video, so you can go in and sub to him from there.
all right.
Uh,
I'll
thanks for
see you
joining
guys
us.
later.
all right, see you later, Don.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you, Don.
Bye.
That was
All
fun,
right.
man.
Yeah. So with that, I think we still got Jason to hit on this particular
Yeah, I'm gonna
topic.
be super short.
Okay, go ahead. Where do you
So-
see DCU going?
Yeah, so that's a very involved question. But I will say that if James Gunn doesn't recognize the failures of the DCEU, if he doesn't have input on some of the creatives, be it story, characters, whatever have you, and how to present them properly, it will fail.
Okay.
I just hope that he learns from everything that's happened in the past and does this correct. I want this to succeed. I've been watching Marvel for 10 plus years now, and DC has always been playing catch up. I would like to see a DC universe that's well put together, connected, cohesive. I just pray that this is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are my
That's fair.
thoughts.
Yeah, and I'll just finish off this particular topic by saying I am excited for a lot of these projects that have been announced. I'm excited to see where DCU goes. I'm happy for the reboot just to kind of get a fresh start, just because the back and forth conversations the last few years have been disheartening to me being a DC fan. Even though I've liked most of the stuff that's come out, and I'm sure there's going to be back and forth with the new stuff too, but it just feels better to have a fresh start. I wish it was a full fresh start, but I am happy with the characters we're getting back. And my biggest worry right now is I've seen this before with studios where they announce a whole bunch of stuff that's coming out, and it's way down the line when it's coming, and then we wind up seeing a bunch of it canceled before it gets here. And I really hope that don't happen with this, but it does worry me a little bit just because Gunn in that video announced several projects, and it's like, oh, these are 2 to 3 years away before we start getting them. So that is kind of a concern for me. But I really hope.
I'm sorry, Deej, because I
you're good.
remember that Gunn said that the things that he announced, it was part of the what was he calling it? The first
Gods and Monsters.
Gods and Monsters.
Yeah.
The section. Oh, sorry. Yes, the section that's going to be so Gods and Monsters. So I have a feeling that what we heard, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get that sooner than 3 years out. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you're right. All right. I'm going to go ahead and read comments to finish off the stream. Is there anybody that needs to go before I start these comments? Because I know it's gotten late. We're 3 hours in. Are you guys good to hang for the rest?
I actually got to go.
Okay. All right. Well, let me let you. Anybody else? I'm going to let you guys.
I'm gonna dip out, y'all.
Okay. Well, let's start with Zach. Zach, if you'll tell me about your channel real quick, and
you okay?
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Dying over there.
I know.
Then I'll let you head on out, and we'll do the same for anyone else that needs to go.
Yeah. Hopefully, I can keep it together. Yeah. My name is Zach. I host Zach Attack Reviews. I do live streams every Tuesday. I do movie reviews. I do trailer reactions. I do ranked lists. I have a Throwback Thursday series on my channel because I'm a baby cinephile. I haven't seen a lot of classic movies, so I'll let you guys vote, and then I will review and give you my thoughts to see if I like it or not. And sometimes I don't. There's a lot of classic movies I watch. I'm like, this was okay. I'm fun. I'm happy. I know I've been very negative on this stream so far, but I'm usually super positive, maybe a little too positive. You can have a good time. They can vouch for me.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and do Jason as well. Ken, are you going too?
I am. I have to.
Okay. All right. Jason, go ahead and shout out your channel real quick.
Hey guys, Screen Zen here, and trailer reactions, movie reviews, really trying to find a community that I can talk with about movies, anything upcoming. I also have trivia on my channel in the form of shorts. So guys, if you are in for a good riddle, you can join or come to the page and check them out. And also, I take suggestions. So any suggestions that you think of a movie that I might enjoy, always, just let me know, and I'll be sure to take a look. But yeah, that's about it. Glad to be here, guys.
All right. And then finally, we'll go to Ken.
Hey, y'all. My name is Kenny Sparks. I am the runner of the Kenny Sparks channel. I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, and video essays as well, where I talk about a range of topics within the film industry as well as the TV industry. So yeah, if you like that kind of content, I would implore you to check my channel out. And yeah, so one of the things I'm running right now is the unseen movie marathon, where I allow my viewers, subscribers or not, to vote on the next movie that I'll watch from a movie I haven't seen from a particular year in time between 1970 and present. And this time they have voted for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I'm really excited to watch, to be honest with you. Yeah, the 1970 That's the 1975 movie. The 1974 movie, which is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, it's had some trouble making it through YouTube's processing, right? So that may or may not come out. An alternative to that might just be doing a watch along of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and seeing if we can all enjoy it together, because I would enjoy doing that with y'all. So yeah. Oh yeah, and the Kenning Sparks live stream is every Friday, starting at 10 p.m. Yeah, and this week we will be talking about Five Nights at Freddy's in a non-spoiler / spoiler and spoiler fashion, and we may be talking about Killers of the Flower Moon at that time as well in a non-spoiler / spoiler fashion. So let you guys know in the community chat, and I'll see you guys next time.
All right. And thank you guys for all being here today. Guys in the chat, I'm still going to go through all these comments in a second as soon as these guys go. So if you want to hang out and hear that read, I'm going to stick around for that. Thank you guys all again for being here. Everybody, make sure you go subscribe to their channels. Everybody that's here tonight, as well as Cosmic Broadcast, who wasn't able to join us tonight, all of their descriptions are in the comments, and I highly recommend you go subscribe to all their channels.
And remember, Jar Jar Binks is love. See you guys.
Later, man.
See ya.
Good night.
All right. And with that said, let me get up to where we were in the comments. And I will see if I can pick it back up where we were, if I can find it. Let's see. I think we're at this comment from Jay. So go ahead and read this. Vandal, Savage, Static, Plastic Man, Vixen, Mr. Miracle, and Big Barda, Icon, and Bumblebee. Ooh, Bumblebee's good. Adam Strange, Stranger Adventures movie. That would be cool too. A lot of good characters in that. 1 minute says, Jason, I agree with you on the actor and movie. And then she goes on to say, hello, what about the Wonder Twins? We should get a movie about the Wonder Twins from Super Friends. They actually had a Wonder Twins movie in the works for some dumb reason back before James Gunn took over and back before Zaslav took over and Discovery took over Warner. So that got canned pretty quick when all that happened. And I don't think we'll ever see a Wonder Twins movie going forward. I kind of hope we don't. 1 minute's good pick. DJ Green Arrow would be a great movie. I love the Green Arrow character. 1 minute's Plastic is more of a comic relief like Peacemaker. I agree. Dark Movies, hey, thanks for joining the stream. Glad we were up late enough to be able to let you join, even though I've got to get up for work in like 4 hours. So I'm going to try to run through some of this. Jay says 2 movies a year and 2 TV shows a year. The universe should have Justice League, Unlimited, and Young Justice feel. Send the sidekicks if the league is tied up. Yeah, I like that idea. I think that's a good solid number. Dark Movies, I'm with Ken there. The special presentations work and they're good things, but with the series, yes, does not work. Okay. I like the special presentations. I do like a lot of the series too, though. 1 minute, agreed, Ken. That easier way to know the characters is how I like it, so I can watch a movie too. I'm more like your dad probably in the superhero shows. Dark, what if the video games aren't like really important, but are just a story that happens someday? That'd be okay if they did it that way. It's going to be odd to know that it's all supposed to tie together, though. Dark Movies, what I mean by this is not a big change, but maybe if there's just like a time jump, something, the video games could cover that time, I guess. Yeah, that would be okay. Jay says, if we were to believe Gunn, you won't have to watch everything to enjoy one movie or TV series. However, if you're a geek, watch it all and be merry. I hope that's the way it works out. Dark Movie says, but yeah, general audience don't have that comment we YouTubers have. Yeah, I agree. My minutes, yeah, I think they could do their spins, but not make a movie based on what we need to know to see a movie. I stream, but would still like to stream a movie I can watch without watching 100 other stuff. I think a lot of people are with you on that. Mom, and it's no Donovan Barbie is special to almost every girl, even older than me. Okay. Mom, and you just listen to different news. I saw Barbie for a long time, including Xbox. I'm not sure what she's getting at there. I meant advertised for a long time. Yeah, it was advertised for a while, at least everywhere I was looking. Dark Movies, do I need to watch Top Gun before Top Gun Maverick? I don't think you have to, but it would definitely help to, if that makes sense. My Minutes is still a good movie. Just gives background for the characters. I probably would. Talking about the Top Gun. Dark Movies, haha, Craven has its competition with Insomniac's Craven. Yeah, I'd say that's probably true. Dark, James is a smart dude. I do think he will do a good job. I agree. I think James is going to crush it with this, to be honest. Dark Movies Phase 1, basically. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Dark Sea, Zach, Jason can have amazing night's sleep. Good night, good stream for Mama Minutes. Dark says watch along are really fun. You should do it that way, Ken. Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably going to be his best option at this point for that particular review. Dark says, but yeah, good night, everyone. I now soon go to school. I know you're at a way different time zone than the rest of us. Time is crazy. You're ending. I'm starting. Yep, I gotta get to sleep in a second. Mom Minutes. Oh no, I deleted all those. Sorry. I'm not sure what you deleted, but okay. All right, and that'll do it for this stream. I thank you all for joining us tonight. I've got to get to bed, so I'm going to get off here and go do that. We had a lot of fun tonight. Again, don't forget to go subscribe to all those guys' channels. And there's a lot of comments coming through, like Dark Movies. I know Jason Entertainment was here earlier. A bunch of other Pop the Popcorn. I don't remember who all was here, but there was a lot of folks here. A lot of them have really great YouTube channels. Definitely go check all those out because there's a lot of good ones. And thank you to all my guests I had tonight. This was a lot of fun. Jonah, I know you got things going on tonight. We're excited to get you to come back, and I hope I can get you back on my channel soon since you wasn't able to join tonight if you're watching this later. Sorry you couldn't be here for this, but we'll get you back. And with that said, I will be on Screen Sense channel on Thursday night. You can see me there, and hopefully we'll have a few other things come out this week. I am planning on cutting out something. Oh, I was going to do it tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to now from Sunday night stream and put it out this week. But we'll just have to see how much time I've got. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen for tomorrow or not. So we'll see you guys later. I appreciate you joining, and we'll catch you next time.